And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
BTDY Marathon 300 live here at Charlotte. The longest race of the season. Regular season about to come to an end, and these guys go chase time for what is 20 races. Race 12, 200 laps, 300 miles, and we're at the historic Charlotte Speedway. Alec, we've been to this track for over 50 years, and it's been a part of NASCAR. It's kind of the heartbeat of the whole system, and a lot of race teams, the shops are really close by to this track.
It is. This is the America's Racing Showplace, as I think they have it on the walls here. And we were here. This is the second time we're actually here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Beginning of the year, you can see all those colorful curbs painted. That's where we were earlier this season, racing on the Roval, racing on the road course here. This time we're back on the oval. It's hot. It's slick. And these cars are going to be slip sliding around, like you said, a 300-mile race, the longest race of the season. Pretty much this is a full-length Xfinity race. This would be the same length you would see the regular NASCAR Xfinity Series run, a 300-mile race, 200 laps. It's going to be a long one, so I'd recommend everybody buckle up, get a nice cold beverage, sit back, relax, because we got a lot of racing, but these guys will definitely put on a show. Excited to be here, and like you said, we are in the backyards of a lot of NASCAR race teams, a lot of teams, the home track for NASCAR for pretty much everybody, minus a few drivers, or a few teams. So, but yeah, it's good to be back out here at Charlotte, and I think it's about 20-25 minutes away from Mooresville, North Carolina, where I would say most NASCAR teams are at. But yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back, and like you said, the final race of the regular season before we get into the points multipliers. And for those who don't know, points multipliers, I believe they start after next week, which next week, might I also point out, the All-Star race, where we'll be racing not even in this country. We'll be racing out in Italy, which will be in Monza. Well, that'll be interesting, where we won't even see these cars go left. They'll actually be going right. So that's going to be something to take in there. And then, like I said, next year, or sorry, in 2 weeks, unfortunately, I won't be here because I'll be racing. But we have the points multipliers begin 1.5 points. So the winner, instead of getting 45, well, I believe if my math is correct, we'll get 67.5 points. So that'll be interesting for once we get to half points. But the winner will get 67, at least maybe they'll round it to 67, 68 points. So take that into account. Jeff Wright, he's got a 24-point lead going into this race. If he were to say he got dead last at Talladega and Bailey Turner were to win, Bailey Turner would jump up to a 20-point lead. And throughout the first 4 weeks, the points are going to change. And the final 2 races, you're going to have double the points, starting with the throwback race at Darlington and the championship race at Chicagoland. So that's going to be something we're going to really need to watch out for. But yeah, like we said, this is the last race of the regular season, number 1. And it's the last race with normal points. So you know, pretty much it's the last normal race until things really start heating up. As you can see, AJ Stravato still running some laps here with a minute left to go in qualifying. So on your pole, picking up right where you left off here at Charlotte last year, dominated the race in the next gen. Yusuf Ghali is going to start on the pole. The Italian stallion AJ Stravato, he's going to be starting second. As you can see, a beautiful aerial shot. The track tab, I don't know if you can pull that up, but it is hot. It's slick.
Oh, it's hot.
These
It's
cars
very
are going to
hot.
be sliding around 132 degrees is the track temp. These tires
That's
are
greasy.
going melting
Yep.
off these cars. Yes, so these guys, tire conservation is going to be huge. You see it going up another degree. And as cars start to race on this track and put more rubber, this track will only get hotter, and slicker. But this track will change throughout the entire race, getting rubber in. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope all you race fans are looking forward to it. We got a long one tonight, but we got a good one here. And about 10 seconds till we pull up our starting lineup, but should we pull up somebody before we go green here?
Yeah, we can get somebody up here in the booth. I think we maybe pull our pole sitter up here. What do you think?
Let me see if I can get him up here. Let's see. Yusuf Ghali, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, driver, you're rolling off first here in the 300-mile race. How do you feel about this race?
Cautiously optimistic, I guess. Last Charlotte race at the Roval, I got pole, was feeling pretty alright, but just didn't have any long run speed, so we're hoping to not have that same mistake this race.
For sure. Well, we wish you good luck out here tonight, and go get them.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother. All right, Yusuf Ghali, your pole sitter tonight, and let's get our old starting grid going up here. Is 300 miles, 200 laps here from Charlotte. On the front row, you got your pole sitter, Yusuf Ghali, with the 29, or what has he got, a 30.989, who's outside the Italian stallion, AJ Stravato. And in the second row, starting third, is that's going to be Jeff Wright, the most dominant driver of this season. Probably lined up to the second most dominant driver this season, David Shieldhouse. And in the third row, starting in fifth, got Ben Baffert in the 23, that purple and yellow car. That sticks out quite well. Joshua Banks, Daytona winner, will be starting his outside in sixth. In seventh, in the row four, we got Bailey Turner, last year's winner in this race. In the next gen, he was able to come out and win this race on pit strategy. Is outside the two-time champion Seth Hatchell. And then row 5, you got Reggie Ortega starting in 9th, and Dennis Faircloth starting up in the top 10.
Rolling on through to 11th position, you've got Eric Hutton with Noah Mikowski starting his outside in the 12th spot. 13th position belongs to Dallas Sullivan with Nick Starling in 14th. 15th position will be Justin Carey with Alan Dice, who's had a lot of top 10s this season in the 5-car, going to be 16th. 17th will be Max Koss with Keith Mayato. Unusual, kind of back mid-pack here for the 36, but plenty of time to get up there and do it. 19th position will be Casey Lakatos with Chris Simard in 20th as they roll out here.
Good to see Chris back. Jeremiah Vincent started 21st. To his outside, his teammate Lyle Sofridge. Behind Lyle, his brother Lane starts 23rd. 24th, Mark McFadden. 25th will be Jordan Shepler. 26th, Zach Smith. 27th will be Robert Gilmore. 28th will be Jordan Brockel. And that'll round out your field tonight. Again, I just want to say thoughts and prayers for Eric Lambert and his family. Unfortunately, not here tonight. That's coming from the Simulators Anonymous guys and from us up here. So hoping everything goes well for you, Mr. Lambert, if you're watching. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in here tonight. The BTDY Marathon 300 miles, 200 laps. Bradley, I got to ask you, who is your pick for tonight's race?
Well, you said the 24 was able to get it done here last year. I think I'm going to go with the 24 again.
Ooh, okay.
I think Bailey Turner can get it done. This is a long race, and he's the strategy guy. A lot of opportunities here on pit road, and I'm going with the 24, Bailey Turner.
You know, I've picked this guy many times this year, and he hasn't won for me yet, but I think he will today. And it's going to be that yellow and purple car, Ben Baffert in that 23. I think he's due for a win. He was fast here last year. I think he can get it done. But as I say this, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. It's time to go. Pace car is off and onto pit road. The BTDY Marathon 300 is underway. 300 miles, 200 laps from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And leading lap number 1 will be Yusuf Ghali. Pulls out a little bit of a lead there on Jeff Wright. He gets out about 0.2 of a second, but this racetrack, it's really going to come down to who can conserve their tires the most. With these guys slip sliding around the whole race, that right front and right rear, they're going to be worked hard.
They sure are. This track hot and slick. I'm not sure what happened on the start. Jeremiah Vincent has already pulled it into pit lane and is in his pit box. So early problems for the number 9 Jakes Chevy Camaro already with the right side tires up. Early to have problems in this 200-lap race as the battle for the lead starting to heat up. Here comes Jeff Wright looking down to the inside. Your points leader and the winner, or sorry, not the winner of last week, but the winner of the last 2 of 3 races. Jeff Wright starting to close up for that lead, but behind him it is a gaggle of race cars. Look at Jeff Wright closing into the back bumper. Ghali trying to defend that clean air into turn 3. Behind him, and I'll tell you, it's a hornet's nest from 4th on back. Joshua Banks around the outside of Ben Bafford, and then you got Ben Bafford right in the 23, David Shieldhouse, Bailey Turner, and then Reggie Ortega.
Yeah, the 35 got up on the outside in 3 and 4 and made pretty quick work of the 23. Bafford might be saving just a little bit, but that bottom line doesn't seem to be as fast as you see Reggie Ortega coming around the outside down the backstretch.
Reggie able to carry that momentum, and as this race continues to go on, rubber gets laid down on this racetrack. You're going to see these guys move around. The lanes will shift throughout this race. Hopefully they will, but I expect them to, just because of the way the rubber, these tires are melting off of these cars. These Goodyear Eagles, when they're fresh, they're going to be fast, and when they fall off, they're really going to fall off. So about 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds of fall off, especially on a long run with Seth Hatchell, who ran a 48-lap run. In practice, he fell off about 2.8 seconds. Could expect even more for some of these guys if they push their tires too hard.
Yeah, down the back straightaway, I see Dennis Faircloth on the outside, and he's no stranger to the outside line. Way up the track here at 3 and 4. He's one of those guys that definitely likes to run the outside, but he's losing ground on it as the 10 of Noah Mikowski gets to his inside. He's lost a couple positions here. Going to fall back to the 12th position here for the 80 car. Not too bad. He had a pretty good run started, though. I think maybe he got a little tight. Mikowski right up on the bumper of Eric Hutton now as they exit 2.
Yeah, you can see it's just the conga line of cars all throughout the backstretch. Everybody's single file. Like I said, you get about to the 7th and 8th position with Bailey Turner and David Shieldhouse. Those guys have kind of been going at it. Kind of all stacked up behind the 23 of Ben Bafford, the 24. Bailey Turner teammates with him as well, and you can see peeking down to the inside of Ben Bafford goes Bailey Turner. Behind them, that's the battle for 17th on your screen with Alan Dice and Casey Lakatos, but the battle for 6th is going on as Turner to the inside of Bafford, and right up ahead of them, you got Joshua Banks, and I believe that's Reggie Ortega, the number 2 car to his outside. And
Ortega on the move here.
For 4th, and Ortega up into 4th. Now look at this behind them. Look at the stack of cars. Everybody on the apron, clipping that apron. Then you got Mikulski, Bafford on the outside of Shieldhouse, Mikulski on the outside of Seth Hatchell, the 2-time champion. These guys pushing their tires a little early. Do you want to be on that outside lane and say, oh, it stacks up right there?
Yeah, the 20 getting pinched down pretty tight by the 23 of Bafford. He could not afford to touch the apron there. That would have wrecked all those cars.
Everybody gonna kind of sort themselves in line. Mikulski got around Hutton, got around Hatchell. Now he's working on the 23 of Ben Bafford. Bafford probably saving his tires. Most likely this will be the run where the tires will wear out the most because the track is clean and green. No rubber has been put on this track. This is the first bit of rubber you can see that these cars are putting on. I'll tell you, Noah Mikulski is really utilizing this green racetrack. Going on the outside of Bafford, just got by him. Now he's by David Shieldhouse. As we said, Yusuf Ghali has lost the lead to Jeff Wright. Jeff Wright, the 48, back to the lead. And might I point out, every time the 48 used to come here to Charlotte Motor Speedway, it was always fast. I don't know if you remember Jimmy Johnson. I think he won, what did he win, 2 3 years?
He dominated
or was
this
it
track.
3 years in a row he won the 600?
The D-shaped oval is definitely fit in the wheelhouse for the 48 team. They dominated tracks like Charlotte, Atlanta, Chicagoland, Kansas. Yeah, there was a lot of circuits.
Ghali, though, he's pressuring back Jeff Wright for the lead here. Ghali goes underneath the 54, goes underneath the 48 here. This will be a really good tall tale sign. If we're going to be able to see a lot of passing, Jeff Wright took the lead for Ghali. Ghali wants it back as it's going to be about a dead heat to the line. Ghali's going to get the nod of leading the lap, but side by side for the lead here going into turn 1. Jeff Wright's going to use it outside. He's going to try to take the air away from the 54th. 54's going to lose side force and close it up on this battle. Italian Stallion, AJ Stravato.
33 is actually catching up to these guys before they started racing side by side. And if you look behind him right now, the 2 of Ortega is catching up to these boys. So maybe they ran it out and realized they were using it up a little bit too much, or now they have used it up and the rest of the field, who's been saving pretty well single file, is catching up to them.
Yeah, these guys running side by side, it's going to hurt their tires a little bit more too, especially with Golly being pinned on that inside, Jeff Wright being pinned on the, or being kind of stuck on the outside, where there's not as much rubber being laid down. But like I said, this track is green, so it should be able to take rubber in a little bit easier. And as these tires are wearing, the track temp is hot and it's slick out here, 134 degrees on the track temp. So you can see Golly and Wright still side by side for the lead, and on the blimp cam, Ben Bafford and Noah Mikulski. Looks like David Shieldhouse, Joshua Banks also going at it. As Golly, though, still trying to get the lead, but Wright pinning him down. You can see this is the battle for the 8th position. Bafford's trying to get underneath Mikulski, just not enough yet. And unfortunately, Jeremiah Vincent is still in pit road, unfortunately. So he's now fallen 11 laps down already, as the battle for the lead still heating up here.
Yeah, this battle for the lead has been going on now for about 4 or 5 laps, and Yusuf Ghali just cannot clear Jeff Wright. That's going to use their tires up, though, and this is a lot of laps. We've got lap 14 out of 200 here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. AJ Stravato in the 3rd position, Reggie Ortega in 4th, and Bailey Turner, my pick, moved up into the top 5 just now.
And on your screen, you can see Ben Bafford going underneath Joshua Banks. So that's going to be for the 7th position. Bafford in the 23, going to move up into 7th. Banks back down to 8th. Had a great start, Banks, and now he's just kind of falling off. He's going to have to get back in a rhythm here. As you can see, this guy's only 2 seconds behind the leader, which is not bad for being 15 laps into a run here. As you can see back here, teammates going at it.
18th
Starling,
position.
yeah, Nick Starling, Alan Dice battling it up here. The Affinity for Gaming Chevy Camaro battling the VSPEED Chevy Camaro of of Nick Starling. Up ahead of them, Chris Samard in the 77 VSPEED machine. He's back, and it's good to see him back and hopefully healthy. And up ahead in the top 10, Banks now pressure from Noah Mikulski. Going at it right now in the battle for the lead, also heating up again. Yusuf Ghali back underneath Jeff Wright for the lead.
He might clear him. No, he doesn't get him in 1 and 2. He did tag the apron a little bit there. I thought maybe he would pull a slide job, but I think that apron kind of ruined that move.
No, but I think he's still able to clear him going down the back, and he is. And Jeff Wright tried to cross.
You think Jeff maybe cut him a break there and just let him in? He's like, we got to run single file.
I think he realized that they were pushing a little hard there, and now it's allowed the 33 to close up on this round. As you can see, Wright gonna block the 33. Now here comes Stravato down to the inside of the 48. But the problem for the 33, he's gonna have the 54 right ahead, and he's gonna have Wright to his outside. But Wright able to roll that middle lane. Look at the momentum he's going to carry. Can he get under? No, he can't. Loses the nose. Now it's going to allow Stravato to close up. Man, I'm loving the camera angles you got for us today, Bradley. They are beautiful, as you can see. Now Stravato looking down to the inside, but Wright trying to carry that momentum up on the outside. And Noah Mikulski was able to get by Joshua Banks for 8th. Now behind them, you can see Bailey Turner underneath Reggie Ortega for 4th. But this battle for the lead, man, it's heating up as Stravato closing in on this guy. These guys will push their tires a little hard here. And I'll tell you, Reggie Ortega almost got into the door of Bailey Turner. That's allowed Shieldhouse and Bafford to close in. Ghali able to pull away a little bit from right now. Here comes Stravato to the inside of the 48.
Into 3 and 4, Stravato looks like he might get the position. Yusuf Ghali on the bottom. I don't know, man. It's hard to tell because it seems like the momentum swings are back and forth.
There's racing all over this racetrack. As now Seth Hatcher was able to get by Mikulski, and that's allowed Eric Hunt to close in. But this battle going on is, Shieldhouse clips the apron, slides up the racetrack. That allows Ortega to pinch him down. These guys all over the racetrack, sliding around. These guys doing their best they can to hold it together. 19 laps, into the run. And Jeff Wright is back on the apron. Oh, man. Shieldhouse got to be very careful clipping that apron.
Almost 3 wide.
Bafford gets into it. They save it. They're still going to be 3 wide down the straightaway, back to 2. Man, these guys are all over it. A little contact from Bafford and Shieldhouse.
You remember the last time we were here? The last time we were here with these two, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, there were some right-hand turns, but I tell you what, they're no strangers to racing next to each other, and almost pretty pretty much 3 wide with a little contact. And I saw
Ortega.
Shieldhouse at that apron. Yeah, the two
Ortega's
of
really
Ortega on the
pulling these
outside.
guys up here, and Shieldhouse just keeps hitting that apron, and it keeps allowing the two to stay on that quarter panel, and it's really hurting them. As for the lead here comes AJ Stravado, peeking outside, looking inside, then tucks in behind the 54. Bailey Turner in the 24 has moved up the 4th, and he is reeling these guys in. Was the fastest of these 3 up in the top 3, as Ortega has lost the spot to Shieldhouse and Baffert. That moves the 20 to 5th, the 23 to 6th. Ortega back down to 7th. Now, how about a shout out to Casey Lakatis, who started, I believe, 18th. He's up into 12th.
Yeah,
Or,
starting
sorry,
19th here,
up
yeah.
into 12th now, so up 7 positions.
Yeah, he's actually caught up to the 35. Joshua Banks, who was in that top 5 a moment ago. He's worked his way
Stravado.
all the way up to 12. I mean, Stravado, you know what? I tell you what, in probably 2-3 laps, I think he's gonna make a run here.
Baffert just got by David Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse might have let him by there. So that's going to allow Baffert moving up into the top 5. You can see the leader's not too far ahead of 5th, which is Baffert, and 6th of Shieldhouse, only a second and a half. And these guys have really pushed their tires. They got about another 20 or so laps in this run to go. See the tire sets, they got 6 sets in the pits here. If you're averaging about 45 laps per set, you'll be pitting about 4 times this race, most likely.
Yeah, these guys have already used their stuff up here in this top 3. You can see 4th on back, reeling them in lap after lap. And the deficit for Bailey Turner, 1 second right now. I think in a couple laps, they're going to be under a second.
And Seth Hatchell is underneath the 2 of Ortega. That's going to be for the 7th position behind these guys. Eric Hutton is also closing the 8th, and there goes Hatchell back and moves up into the 7th position. Eric Hutton closing in the Canes mobile, if you so will. He's up in the 9th, trying to work on Ortega for 8th. How about Eric Hutton, man? The season he's having, a quiet but solid season. He's 2nd in points right now. He's had a quiet year. Oh, Yusuf Ghali clips the apron off of 2. Now here comes Stravado on the inside.
Down the back straightaway, he tagged it just on the exit of 2, and Stravado changed for the lead and some contact. The 33's loose.
They're going to save it. Here comes Jeff Wright. Right down to the inside. That's going to allow this top 5 to all jumble up. What great racing we're having here at Charlotte. 25 laps into this race. That's allowed Stravado to get to the outside, but Wright clips the apron.
Looks like the entrance is a little easy to drive down, and then it pulls down too much on throttle. We've got a drag race down the back straightaway.
I think Stravado's got a little right front damage. I'm not sure when, if he clipped the wall, but a little bit on the quarter panel and a little bit on the right front fender. But it looks like Stravado's going to be able to hold on to the lead here, barely. Cuts in front of the 48. Ghali back down to 3rd. But here comes Bailey Turner and Ben Baffert 4th and 5th. Closing up on this battle. Heck, even Shieldhouse and Hatchell, 6th and 7th, have caught up as Baffert gets underneath Bailey Turner and gets by with the 23 up into 4th. Hutton, the first side-by-side battle, that's for the 8th position. It looks like Hutton's going to be able to get it going into turn 3 past Ortega.
So back here, that's 88 in the 2, 8th and 9th position. But this top 10 starting to accordion back up. You can see the guys that saved their tires as Noah Mikowski's back in 10th. Reggie Ortega was on the move there for a bit, and it seemed like that outside line just used up those tires quicker.
Yeah, you may have, and these top 5, oh, sounds like we got trouble. Somebody might have hit the wall there off of 4, but I think everybody seems to be all right.
Well, we got the 35 here as Joshua Banks. Yeah. He was wobbling big time behind Casey Lakatis. This is just outside your top 10 for the 12th spot. The 36 of Keith Mayato, he's working his way up. He started pretty far back in the field. There's Faircloth on the outside. There's Dallas Sullivan on the bottom of him. And then you've got a lot of guys here that have been top 10 cars all season long. They find themselves, look at the 35. It just looks out of control right now.
As Baffert has just got by Yusuf Ghali off of turn number 2. That's going to put the 23 up into 3rd. But let's put that camera back on that little gaggle of race cars there with Mayato. Banks. Looks like Mayato's able to get by Banks. Look at Faircloth carrying the momentum and able to get down to the inside of the 35. Dallas Sullivan, he's been quiet this season, and might I point out, he won this race on fuel strategy last year in the Xfinity car. I think it was a 200-mile race, but he was able to win.
So, a lot going on here, and if you're thinking strategy already at this point, even with a caution, do you stay out? Do you save your sets of tires? Do you come down? I mean, there's so many options here with 6 sets of tires.
My God, it's really loose through the middle of the corner underneath Oh, look, contact with Banks and Faircloth there, but it looks like
50
Licata's
hit
got
the wall.
apron.
Yeah,
No,
I think he hit the wall
apron
too on the
underneath
action.
36 and just lost the side force off of it. Almost spun out. As these guys all over the place back here, slipping, sliding around, using different lanes. Always good to see. Battle for the lead, though. Sorry, battle for second heating up. Stravato opened up on 3/10 of a second lead, but Baffert has passed Gawley. He is now reeling in the 48 of Jeff Wright. Seth Hatchell is actually able to pass David Shieldhouse for sixth. A beautiful onboard camera here with Ben Baffert here closing up on the back of the Lowe's 48 machine. And Baffert's been putting together some really good laps. The fastest car in the top 5 so far. You can see the extra rotation. He's able to get in the center of the corner. He's able to carry that momentum off. And that's allowed Baffert to get even closer to the 48. As Eric Hutton up into 8th. He's reeling these guys in. He's reeled in David Shieldhouse as well. Mikulski has reeled in Ortega. But so far up in this top 5, not a ton of movement yet, but it might start moving right here as Jeff Wright really loose off the corner. Here comes Baffert with the run down the backstretch underneath the 48 here. Can he get the position? Sends it into turn number 3. He's going to slide up the racetrack a little bit. Wright gives him room. Baffert up to second, Wright back down to third.
So a change from the top 3, and Baffert on the move. He's got to go chase down the Italian Stallion. AJ Stravato has led about 7 laps, I would say. 8 laps now as they come across. That's a pretty good guess, I think.
Pretty good guess. That was an estimated guess, as they say.
Yeah.
I tell you, that was a good one, though. Joshua Banks, I think, might have tagged the wall off of turn 4. He's got a little bit of right side damage as he's now battling still side by side with Dennis Faircloth. Those guys going at it still. Look at the different lanes these guys are using. Top, bottom, middle. Nobody really up on the top here, but usually in the middle and the bottom lane, hooking that blue line. Guys going all over it. These guys loose, sliding around. Really
yeah, you saw the nose. You saw the nose on Faircloth's machine, and the 80 just bobbled there, and that lost all that momentum. So that's all it takes is to bobble a little bit, tag the apron or lose the nose, and you can see a position go down.
You can see the different lines being used here. Faircloth moves up, try to get out of the dirty air, and then try to get some cleaner to the nose. Here comes Chris Simard closing in as well. Underneath Dallas Sullivan, that's going to be for the 15th position. So Simard in the top 15. Up ahead of them, Chris Simard, his teammate, Keith Mayato, underneath the 10 of Noah Mikulski to break into the top 10 here. So Keith Mayato at least up inside the top 10 for now. Mikulski's still finding him pretty hard at the moment. Mayato's going to be able to get the spot. Now here, side by side, Faircloth, Lakatis. Then you got Simard. Sullivan is, oh man, cutting it close between those two Supras. The 50 of Lakatis gets the position away from Faircloth. The 50 up into 13. Now Simard trying to find a way to underneath the 80 of Faircloth here. Faircloth just doesn't have the rotation in that nose there. Not enough rubber up in that top lane.
Yeah, it's looking like the top lane's burning the tires off really quickly. It works for a lap or two, and then the right front gets angry. It's not working out for him, but they want that lead battle. It's starting to shape up as Ben Baffert catches up to the 33 of Stravato.
Eric Hutton was able to get by David Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse kind of lost touch with these guys. He's fallen back to 8th. Hutton's moved up to 7th. Behind these top 2, like you said, everything's kind of closing up. And I'll tell you, Seth Hatchell has a lot of pace in that 8 car. He's fast as Ben Baffert right now. As you can see, Yusuf Ghali now going underneath the 48 here for 3rd. It's going to be the battle for 3rd as the battle for the lead. It's going to heat up. Oh, he's back to the apron. It's going to stack Turner up, and that's going to stack Hatchell up as well. These guys really going at it. Almost 40 lap old tires.
Coming up on pit stops. It's about that time, but
just got by Stravato. Baffert goes to the lead and off in the middle of 3 and 4 and off of 4. Baffert gets the lead now. Ghali, and here comes Bailey Turner to his inside. Seth Hatchell's trying to follow suit as well.
Hatchell goes to the inside of Yusuf Ghali, and we talked about that at the start of this race that the 48 and the 54 looked like they were using their stuff up, and that 54 of Ghali is really loose on the center off.
I think these guys are really starting to struggle for grip here as this track is heated up quite a ton, and these cars are becoming a handful to drive. 135 degrees on this racetrack. I think that's the hottest track temper we've had all year, and it's showing. These guys sliding around. Here comes Bailey Turner and Seth Hatchell. Hatchell peeking down to the inside, the 2-time champion. Move him up into 4th. Hatchell searching for that first win of the season. Honestly, everybody but Jeff Wright in the top 5 have yet to get their first win this season. And might I also point out, everybody in the top 5 except Jeff Wright last season had gotten a win in the last season with the next gen car. But this race, it's playing into these guys' hands that were saving tires. Another guy who's playing into his hands, Eric Hutton, underneath Yusuf Ghali for the 6th position. Pole sitter starting to drop back a little bit. We talked to him in the beginning. Oh, he taps the wall in the entry. And looks like Hutton's going to get the spot going into turn number 1. Like Yusuf Ghali said, he wasn't sure how his pace was. He got the pole here at the Roval and fell off. Obviously, the Roval, a lot different here than the Oval, but just doesn't have the long run pace yet. Eric Hutton, Ben Baffert, and Seth Hatchell have by far been the best long run cars. Baffert has gotten the lead, he's gotten clean air, he's starting to open up a little bit of a gap, but you can see the battle for 3rd. Seth Hatchell underneath the 48 of Jeff Wright. That's going to be for 3rd. Hatchell, I don't know if he's got a top 3 this year, but right now he's looking pretty stout in that number 8 VSPEED Camaro, and he's going to get it away from Jeff Wright. Now that's going to allow Bailey Turner to get to the outside, or sorry, to the inside, excuse me, of the 48 now. Now that might move Jeff Wright back out, or back into 5th.
Yeah, Bailey Turner's kind of had like a long run, consistent run. He hasn't really picked up a lot of positions, but his lap times, his averages have been great all the way through this run.
They really have, and might I point out, we are about 2 seconds off the pace here of tires as David Shieldhouse has brought it to pit lane. The strategy begins in this race, a 300-mile race. A lot of strategy can play to really anybody's effect here, to anybody's advantage or disadvantage. We're really curious to see how much time David Shieldhouse can gain and how much grip he's going to have compared to everybody else as he takes the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Chevrolet Camaro to pit road. Max Cost and the Reese's Mustang has brought it in as well. But up on the racetrack, though, Jeff Wright about to fall out of the top 5 to Eric Hutton. Eric Hutton, man, I'm telling you, guy's just been stellar this season. Quiet, but he's been consistent as Jeff Wright has to back out of the gas and let Eric Hutton go right outside the top 5. That's allowed Ghali to close up as well. Baffert has opened up almost a 2nd lead over AJ Stravato, about 0.8 of a second down the backstretch. Hatchell slowly but surely reeling in the Italian stallion of the 33 of Stravato. Tell you what, man, Hatchell has a little bit more pace for, I think he might have something for Ben Baffert here.
Are down on the apron, getting into pit road pretty slow, and I believe that was
this box. What about Robert Gilmore? There's Shepler and Dice battling right now.
Yeah, this is for the 19th and 18th position.
They're going at it. David Shieldhouse has brought it back on the racetrack here, and let's just see his pace. His pace is going to be absolutely stellar here. He's going to have such great pace here as Zach Smith, Lyle Sofrich going at it right now. That's for the 20th position. These boys going at it.
Clock down on pit road.
I do want to keep an eye on David Shieldhouse here and see what his speed is. See what his lap time was. The leader, Ben Baffert, turned a 33.5. Stravato, sorry, excuse me, Shieldhouse.
31.5. That's 2 seconds.
2 seconds. And he's going to do that probably per lap. So you can see, look at the speed he has. He just blows by these guys. Now, the real question is, what is the top 5? What are the top 5 going to try to pit as Hatchell gets by AJ Stravato going into turn 3? The 8 car into 2nd. How about this? The top 3, Ben Baffert, Seth Hatchell, man. I got to see where he started. I think he started at least in the top 10, but I think he started 8th, up 6 positions, having a great run so far. As Eric Hutton is now closed in on Bailey Turner here.
Yeah, this top 10's kind of accordioned and then flip-flopped, and, you know, the most consistent, though. Bailey Turner, he stayed in the top 5. He's in the 4th position. Eric Hutton moving up a few spots. He was just outside the top 10 to start. But, yeah, Eric Hutton's looking pretty solid as we approach green flag pit stops. Looks like the 48 of Jeff Wright coming down.
Here comes Eric Hutton underneath Bailey Turner here for the 4th position. Move Eric Hutton up into 4th as he gets by the 24. And look at the 20. Close up on the battle. He's just going to blow by both of these guys. I mean, David Shieldhouse, immense pace in the 20 with those fresh tires. He's going to probably cycle to the lead as Jeff Wright brings it in.
Yeah, Shieldhouse back in 21st position right now. A lot of these guys still have to hit pit road, but he's catching back up to the leaders here. He's going by Stravato for 3rd. He's going to unlap, and it looks like Ben Baffert will be the next, well, Seth Hatchell and then Ben Baffert to get back on that lead lap. Look at the outside.
Quick. He just blows by these guys on such older tires. I mean, it doesn't even look real how fast he is. I mean, he's 2 seconds faster as here comes Ben Baffert calling that he's pitting. That's odd, the leader pitting, you know, they're going to try to maybe overcut him. I think Seth Hatcher will probably try to pit with him. Yes, he is. 45, oh, fast in the pit road, but he makes it, I think. It's going to be close for the 23. I don't know if he's going to make it there. We'll see here as he made it. He sent it in there and was able to get in.
Seth Hatchell followed suit. So there's the top two pitting. 33 Stravado is going to stay out another lap. So he has the 99 and Mark McFadden passing him on the outside. So if he's going to come to pit road, he's going to have to let the 99 go here. He's going to stay out another lap, I believe.
He's going to try the overcut, but, you know, I think Eric Hutton's got such good pace that he could probably stay out right now, and he might be able to get by. He might be able to get by, as I believe Ben Baffert's speeding on pit road.
23, that's going to hurt if this race stays green.
A
So there he is serving a penalty. It's a 20-second hold on pit road, I believe.
Wow, Seth Hatchell's in a good spot here. We saw Hatchell have great armors. He was catching Baffert, and now he's going to be looking good. Here comes Stravado into pit road here. And he's got a lot of speed. Should be able to make it. Yes, he will. Here comes Yusuf Ghali as well. Brings it in. 2 more cars bringing in. That cycled the lead to Eric Hutton. Bailey Turner in second. Jeff Wright trying to get by the traffic, trying to dodge and weave through the slower cars on older tires.
Stravado hits his box, and he had the third pit stall.
Hutton
Actually,
pitting.
second pit stall here tonight.
Hutton
There's
pitting.
Yusuf Ghali hitting
Ben
his
Baffert
first pit
just
stall.
exited
Oh,
pit road.
I believe the 54 might have drove a little too far through his box, so he's going to lose a little bit of time. Nothing too detrimental, but did overshoot that pit box a little bit.
Bella Sullivan in. Justin Carey's going to stay out and get a lap let, it looks like. I think he will. Yes, he will. Justin Carey gets that bonus point leading a lap. Eric Hutton, Bailey Turner cycling through pit road here. This will be the last of the leaders to come in until Justin Carey pits. But that should cycle the lead out to David Schildhouse, who was the first car to pit. Left 6 laps, older tires than Jeff Wright. And Jeff Wright is 7 seconds behind David Schildhouse. So, really good
What an
strategy.
advantage here for the 20 to short pit a little bit. And, I mean, the tires will... They're going to shape back out. It will even out, but...
They will. It's going to take a while. I think Schildhouse he's going to be on older tires this run for a long time. So,
yeah.
you can see a lot of guys exiting pit road here, and the cycle has been completed. Seems once Justin Carey brings it in, that allows Schildhouse to take the lead of the race. His first laps led at Charlotte Motor Speedway this season, and his first laps led in this race. I'd say not his first laps led this season. This guy's won 3 races this year, so he's had no problem leading laps.
Yeah, he led some important laps. He led the last ones.
He sure did. As Eric Hutton, as I think you suggested, is that Robert Gilmore pitting as well? He'll be bringing it in, and you can see Eric Hutton with the freshest tires, and Bailey Turner with the freshest tires in the top 10. They have moved into 8th and 9th. They have 11 lap older tire or fresher tires than David Schildhouse, but they're 16 seconds, a whole half a track pretty much behind these guys. So we'll see what happens. Jeff Wright 6 seconds behind the leader, David Schildhouse. Seth Hatchell has been a third. He's got the freshest tires of anybody in the top 5. So how about Dennis Faircloth in 4th?
Yeah, he did short pit. He's
Schildhouse.
kind of in that same, he's in that same stint as Schildhouse, and so 10 lap old tires, but that does help. So it's track position. The 80 Faircloth was flirting with the top 10, now finds himself in the top 5, running in the 5th position as Reggie Ortega goes around him for 4th. But AJ Stravado, that was the guy that was leading this thing just before they started these pit cycles. And then Seth Hatchell, who gets way up ahead of him. That's it's quite the rotation here.
And a shame for Ben Baffert there, who looked like he was really, really fast. Was able to get the lead from saving tires and had the lead into pit road. He had a healthy lead too. Just pushed it too hard, and it's going to cost him. He's going to need a caution here soon, but he's the 5th car in line a lap down. He's got a long way to go. He's going to need to pass a few guys, then come in and get the lucky dog. So far, he's got a big hole to dig out of. You better hope this race doesn't go caution-free, because there would be, I mean, we're a fourth into this race, so still plenty laps to go. 145 laps to go in this race, so still a long way to go as David Shieldhouse clicks another lap off the board and leads another lap. But yeah, no, Baffert in trouble right now, but still long enough in this race where something can happen. He can cycle back to the lead lap. Definitely still possible for the 23 car, unfortunately. And, you know, for everybody in the chat, appreciate you guys all tuning in here for the longest race of the season, the BTDY Marathon 300. You know what, as Adam Baker used to always say, you know, tell us who you're rooting for in the chat. See if you y'all chatting in there. You got Faircloth or Bearclaw, and you got Ben Baffert fans, Mark McFadden in here fans as well, and a lot of, obviously, a few Simonon fans up in here as well. So tell us who you're rooting for. Great to have you guys all tuning in, guys and girls tuning in. So appreciate you all being here and watching and enjoying this coverage with us, myself and Bradley. And want to give a shout out, and I don't know if he's watching, but Adam Baker, I don't know if you saw, Bradley, but our friend and colleague is engaged.
Yeah, huge shout out to him last night. I put it up there in chat and post-race interviews. He sent me a message about 20 minutes or so after the race had started and said, yeah, sorry about not getting the overlay and the thumbnail and all this stuff fixed. And I'm just like, dude, you got engaged. I completely understand. It's fine. You know, just if you were gone all week, I would get it.
But yeah, congrats to our friend and colleague Adam Baker, the guy who founded this old VSPEED, and yeah, so proud of him and happy for him, and it's awesome to see. So congrats again, Adam. Wishing you the best, and hopefully we'll have you up here in the booth here sometime soon, and hopefully we'll even see you on the racetrack. As on the racetrack, Seth Hatchell, VSPEED car, he's running down Jeff Wright now, and he's about 2/10 faster than Wright, 3/10 faster than Wright. And about a second faster than David Shieldhouse. These guys are reeling in Shieldhouse quick. With Shieldhouse 5 lap older tires, you would think wouldn't be as bad. But yeah, he's falling off. He is a second off as looks like AJ Stravado getting by Reggie Ortega for 4th. And Ortega having a solid run inside the top 5. I'll tell you who I think might have the most speed. And he's been able to kind of get through the field well and carve his way through the field. We mentioned him at the beginning of the show, who started in the back, started, I believe, 19th, right, or 18th, and he's up to 6th. Keith Mayato really making his way up through the front, and he's doing a heck of a job. Up into 6th, up 12 positions, and he's doing well right now. Got a lot of speed. He might need a caution to really get to it, but he's not too far. He's 7 seconds behind his teammate, who has the best tires inside the top 10. Or sorry, AJ Stravado with the best tires inside the top 10.
I think the 36 in my auto doesn't want to caution. Look how much time he made up on pit road.
I know.
All the positions, because he was still outside the top 10 when we started pit stops. So he made a ton of time up. I think he wants this race to go green.
He's a lot later than most guys, so he's got a lot of speed. Bailey Turner's really got a lot of speed in that 24 car now. And like you said, he's probably the most consistent, staying in his position most of the run. He's kind of gapped to Eric Hutton, who's got about a second gap
Faircloth
over.
behind him is a second
Faircloth
gap
as
over
well.
Faircloth, yeah.
Faircloth, much older tires, but he's hanging on well. He's going to probably get with this strategy, should only fall back to about 11th or 12th. Golly has really fallen off. Like, he hasn't gained a ton of time. We saw him miss his pit box, and that definitely costed him a little bit of time. Chris Samard having some good speed. Mikulski, good speed as well inside the top 10. So Pole Sitter's kind of struggling here. He had a 3rd place at Dover last week, but moving his way up. And put the camera on our guy right here. Max Cost, solid run, running on the lead lap, 16th. Having a good run here, as I might say, battle on the racetrack. Seth Hatchell getting by Jeff Wright for 2nd. And now Hatchell, who has about 7 lap fresher tires than David Shieldhouse, should be able to come down the back, or should be able to reel him in very soon, about a half a second faster than the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Chevrolet Camaro of David Shieldhouse. As Faircloth back down to 9th, that moves Eric Hutton up into 8th. But yeah, like I said, Max Cost having a solid run, trying to run down Joshua Banks, who's got a little bit fresher tires. Lakatis was able to get by Dallas Sullivan. Lakatis up in the 13th. So far, like I said, this field's going to get very strung out, as Robert Gilmore and Brockle have unfortunately pulled it into pit lane. So that's unfortunate to see for those guys. But man, these guys.
I'll tell you what, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take you out real far away here and show you how big the expanse of this track is. BTDY Marathon 300. We're on lap 64 out of 200 here tonight. We're going to take a quick commercial break after we've cycled our pit stops. We're going to get ready to do it all again and approach the halfway point of this race. We'll be right back after this.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
BTDY Marathon 300, and we had a change for the lead while we were at commercial break. We'll take you back and take a look at that really quickly. We can get the right cameras. Back to the bookmark here. Nope, not going to work. I have no idea how that works. I hit a bookmark, but yeah, Seth Hatchell able to take away the lead from David Shieldhouse, and that puts the 8 of Hatchell and the 48 of Jeff Wright up into the top 2.
Yeah, and Shieldhouse unfortunately went back down to 3rd, but on the oldest tires in the field here, over the run here, and he's pitted about 10 laps 10 laps before Hatchell, and about 7 laps before Jeff Wright. So he's definitely jumped a bit. He's pitted when he was about 8th. And
there it
he's
is.
in 3rd right now. There we go. There we go.
There's the replay.
Yeah,
there's the pass for the lead.
This was the pass for the lead under green here from Seth Hatchell. Like I said, about 10 lap fresher tires, you can see just kind of easily gets by there. David Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse really tried to put up a fight, and Jeff Wright also got by. So
I'm learning how these buttons work. This is a new thing, adding some bookmarks, but we got it. Hey, we learned it today.
Might I point out, this has been 72 laps green of 200 so far, and if this race went green, it'd be insane.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you who's really hoping for a caution is Ben Baffert. Baffert is first car lap down. He was as fast as Seth Hatchell, maybe even faster but unfortunately sped on pit road, and it's costing him a lap, and it's costing him about 20 positions, so, or 19 positions, I should say. So Baffert up in 20th position right now, first car lap down. He's hoping for that yellow flag to fly, but right now a lot of spread out action over this racetrack. Guys fighting the race cars, guys slipping and sliding around. Yusuf Ghali up into 9th, your pole sitter. Back into 9th place as Bailey Turner has gotten by Keith Mayato. Mayato back down to 6th. Turner with the freshest tires now inside the top 5. 23 laps on these tires. Stravato 24 laps on these tires with Mayato 25. So all over the race, all over on strategy here, which is why we love BTDY. We love green flag racing. See, we don't have any stages, so, you know,
Yeah.
throwing it out there. You know, sometimes these no stage races can kind of make the race a little more interesting with strategy. But that's just my humble and honest opinion. I know there are some people that are a little bit more higher up in
NASCAR
racing that don't believe that. So, but yeah, no, it's good to see a lot of strategy. And I'll tell you what, Jeff Wright has not really lost Seth Hatchell. So we'll see as this run continues to go on. But
He stayed within 0.5 of a second of him, and these tires are pretty even. 2 laps separate these guys, 27 and 29 laps on this stint. David Shieldhouse in the top 5, the oldest tires right now in 3rd position. AJ Stravato is reeling him in slowly, but that's a pretty good gap there between Stravato and Shieldhouse. Over 4 seconds separate the 33 and the 20 as they go on to lap 76. Out of 200, it's been clean and green thus far. Track temperature has been getting hotter and hotter. We're at 140 here tonight. Alec, that's got to be chewing these tires up.
it definitely is. And I'll tell you, it didn't get any better than that. Watching these guys, you know, watching this track temp really climb up here, 140 degrees. Or 40 degrees, I should say. So for any of you race fans here, track temp is how hot this track surface is, and 140 degrees is really unheard of these days, especially with how hot the weather is in the virtual ambient temperature out here in the virtual Charlotte, North Carolina, or was Concord, North Carolina, I should say. But yeah, no, that is a crazy amount of track temp and heat in this racetrack, which means these tires are absolutely cooking. And these drivers are not cooking because it's virtual, but the tires are your egos, as you say.
I've sweat pretty good, you know, leading this thing.
Yeah.
I think Seth Hatchell's probably got a little bit of sweat dripping as we'll take you through your top 10 here. Your leader right now started in the 8th position. Seth Hatchell led 10 laps. He's about a second ahead of Jeff Wright currently. And then we go back to Jeff Wright, who's a 4-time winner this season, started in the 3rd spot, and he's had a dominating season thus far. It's hard to believe that he won't win this race, as how good he's been at these D-shaped ovals.
He finds ways to just put himself in the right position.
Yeah.
His strategies, just his pace all year. He's just found ways to just be there. And shout out to David Shieldhouse as well. You know, he's put himself in positions to where he can win races. He's won 3 for a reason this year. And even then, you know, like I said, even Jeff Wright, he's won, was he won 5 or 4 for a reason? So, you know, out of the first 12 races, Jeff Wright and David Shieldhouse have won a combined 7 of the 12. So take that into accommodation. There's first battle on the racetrack. Casey Lakatos getting by Dennis Faircloth here. That's for the 12th position. Going into turn number 3. Sib TV Grid Life Toyota Supra past the Geico Toyota Supra. That's going to be for 12th. And on your screen right now, AJ Stravato, Bailey Turner battling for 4th, as it sounds like. Yes, David Shieldhouse might be bringing it in here, and he is.
Still going through your top 10 here. Bailey Turner back in the 5th position. He's been the most consistent. We got a few different cars. It looks like the 7 of Nick Starling coming down pit road as well.
He is.
We move on through back to the 6th position. There's Eric Hutton in the 6th spot in the 88. He's got Keith Mayato in 5th in front of him now, with Shieldhouse cycling into pit stops. Reggie Ortega.
So yeah, we forgot to go through the title. That's my apologies. How about Ortega?
No, it's okay. Yeah, Ortega. He's been up in the top 5 a couple times tonight, and still in the top 10, maintaining in that 7th place. Ortega he's coming to life. He just
he really is.
He had a rough start to the season, so it's good to see the 2 cars.
Watch out for him at Talladega. Watch out for him at Talladega when we get the first race chase going, and there's a little joke that's been going on forever, but they call it Tal Ortega. So keep that in mind. You never know with Reggie Ortega at these super speedways. He's always a factor when we get there. And like I said, Talladega is going to be fun. Yeah, David Shieldhouse exiting pit road. Yusuf Collier, pole sitter. Led 17 laps, but he's fallen back 7 positions from where he started. Running in 8th, but he's just kind of struggling. He just hasn't found the pace yet. He might be one that's going to be hoping for a caution to get himself regrouped, get himself back into this. And another shout out to the guy behind him running in 9th. Noah Mikulski. Again, solid running all year. He's had really good runs. The run that sticks out to me was Texas, running well inside the top 5, got 5th, had, a heck of a run, and looked like he had pace that he could have won if all the things kind of fell his way. So, started 12th, he's up 3 positions, running in 9th, solid run, highest running Ford today, and he honestly, for any of you Mustang fans, any Ford fans, Blue Ovals, Noah's been carrying the banner this year for the Fords, and like I said, there's not as many Fords as I thought there would be, but he's really, really just been carrying the banner for the Fords, the Mustangs, and running in the top 10 there. And behind him, good to have him back. Chris Samard, solid run, up 10 positions, running in the top 10. So good run there for Mr. Samard in that VSPEED 77. Won, I believe, did win last year, the year before, had an awesome win, and it was in the regular season finale at Michigan. He was able to get that one. It was in the next year car in one of the classic races, one of the best races I've ever seen. Broadcasting, it was a good time, and just shows BTDY, man, always putting on good shows. They never fail to. Is Seth Hatchell, your leader, looking for his first win this season. He's really, he's looking pretty good if this race were to keep going green. He needs to be calm, cool, and collected, but he's won 2 championships in this league. And might I tell you, a lot of guys, you don't really want to see the 8. When he gets out to a big lead, when he gets out in front, he's scary. And then when you let him lead laps, get that clean air, get a big lead, this guy is really hard to stop, as David Shieldhouse on fresher tires now blows by the 48 and will very quickly run up on the 8 car of Seth Hatchell. It's been a great week for the 8. Any of you watched this weekend at Talladega. The 8 car back in victory lane at Talladega. Kyle Busch able to get it done. Was happy to see that.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I'm going to be honest. It was one of the races I watched. I wanted to see. I wanted to see the 12 win it. To be honest with you, but
was good.
Yeah, Blaney did well.
Goes by the L8. Yeah, Blaney had a great run. Bubba just made a block a little too late, and that's what the thing with the super speedways and the next gen car. So many different runs can be generated in the way the blocks and the air all goes, and Kyle Busch was very lucky to win that race because it looked like Wallace was going to come down and get him. But yeah, no, it's just, that's what's crazy about, the NASCAR Cup Series this season, and it's just a lot of great racing so far. And, it's going to be wild. They go to the Monster Mile. We were just there in the BTDY world, and now real life there this weekend. So, yeah, as Seth Hatchell, 2-second lead, and David Shieldhouse has already blown by Max Coswell now. And here's the first battle. We'll get back on the topic of the race. First battle back, and these 4 cars have all grouped together. Again, Stravada has fallen back to the 24 Turner. That's brought Mayato a little bit closer. And then that's brought Eric Hutton closer. Hutton led a few laps in that cycle of the pits, was able to actually jump ahead of Bailey Turner, and this time he's reeled in Turner once again. First he's got to get by Mayato, but I think he can. He's got about 2 lap fresher tires on that 88 than he does than there is on the 36. You're going to see him try to get up here, and you see he just loses the nose there in dirty air. It's really hard to follow somebody on the bottom here and really be able to keep it. If he could just get to that left rear quarter panel, loosen him up a little bit, he'll have a chance here. Is now back down the backstretch into turn 3. Try to get down to the inside. You'll see him try to get that left front. Get that left front corner in a little bit of clean air, and you can see right there he's able to get a nice run off of turn 4, set up the run, and there he goes down to the inside. And right here it's going to get really tough. A big hill, a big dip, as I think Mayato's just going to let him go. But that allows Eric Hutton to move into the top 5. But very key to get that left front quarter out of the air, the dirty air of the car in front of you, and then get that cleaner than the left front and be able to carry momentum off the corner. So doing a great job there is Starling and Baffert battling each other, and that sounds like Reggie Ortega is going to bring it down into pit lane. So is Jeff Wright. Jeff Wright in the 48 bringing it down to pit lane.
It was Jeff Wright, long pit road here. This is second position.
We'll
Jeff
see
Wright
Hatch
going
on
to fall
about
back
3-second
up.
lead.
I believe we were going to cycle again with the 20
Yes, we
car
are.
taking over. But, yeah, it seemed like it was quick this time. These laps are just ticking away here as we stay green for
Sure are.
91 out of 200. That's impressive. That just goes to show you the talent of these guys here at BTDY.
Oh, Hatchell. There goes Hatchell into the pits. So, okay, I think Hatchell's kind of deemed it right there. Hatchell pretty much just said he's racing the 48. I think he knows that he has to race the 48. That's the car that's been closest to him. What does that allow for maybe Stravato, Bailey Turner, Eric Hutton, Keith Mayato? What are these guys willing to do? And I'll tell you, Keith Mayato, with the older tires, he's been able to stick in that pack. You know, like I said, he gained a lot of spots in that last pit cycle. Look where he's at. He's right at the tail end of the guys that were a few seconds ahead of him. So great job by Keith Mayato being able to stay with him. Can he stay with them in pit road is the question. Doesn't want to lose too much time to these guys. If he only falls about a second behind, he pits with them. He'll be in a good spot to set Hatchell exiting pit road here. Jeff Wright, I believe, is going to go by here. He is not, actually. He won't, so that's going to keep Hatchell out there ahead, but he's going to fall in this little mix of cars here.
Yeah, Hatchell's going to stay above. And that's a pretty good gap there for a lap difference in tires as well between him and Jeff Wright.
He's going to blow by
Look at
these
the
guys.
run.
Look at that.
That's a big run out of 4.
It really is. Look at that. Oh, easy there. Stravato, I don't think he even realized how fast he was coming, and Hatchell will be able to keep the cycle in front of the cycle of the lead here, but that's really going to mess up AJ Stravato. It's going to force him, but Bailey Turner loses it. Look at that. Look at Jeff Wright just blow by these guys with those fresher tires. Right on by goes Jeff Wright. So now AJ Stravato has assumed the lead, and now Bailey Turner, Eric Hutton are going at it. Eric Hutton almost laid the bumper to Bailey Turner, and honestly, he's right on him, loosening him up as there goes Keith Mayato into pit road as well. That allows Hutton to get to the inside here of Bailey Turner.
Mayato down pit road, and it's a long one. It's a very long one, down to 50 miles per hour as they come down. Looks like the 71 of Salfridge coming out. It's Lane Salfridge.
Bailey
It's the
Turner.
pit stall for the 36, and Mayato, like I said, made up a lot of ground on this field on pit road, so maybe this will be another instance where he picks up a couple positions.
Oh, Jeff Wright just ran into the back. Did he run in the back of Zach Smith? No, he almost did. And that was very close. A little jump scare there for myself and Jeff Wright, probably. As Wright almost got to the back end of Smith, who looked like he was almost going to hit the wall, had to get out of the gas. So everybody stays green. That would have really hurt their strategy if they had, made contact, maybe got into each other. Stravato's opened up a gap on Eric Hutton. If a caution comes out, these guys will cycle to the lead. But it's really, really opened up this gap, and I think Stravato staying out still.
Yeah, these guys are going to have like probably 7-8 laps on their tires advantage. But it just here you can hear him clutching it as they go into one.
Oh, Yusuf Ghali and Reggie Ortega made a little contact going into turn 3. Ghali's got damage now, and I think Ortega might even have some damage as Lakatis gets by, or Mikulski's brought it in as well. So I don't know if Yusuf Ghali, our pulse sitter, has a little bit of, man, your camera angle is on point. That camera angle is beautiful. And yeah, now Ben Baffert bringing it in as well. Banks exiting. Top 3 continue to stay out, and this will be interesting here to see what happens during the cycle. But Eric Hutton is starting to pressure AJ Stravato. I think Hutton has one of the best long-run cars here. Maybe as good as Seth Hatchell, but he just doesn't have the track position on Hatchell. But when these guys cycle, he's going to have probably 5 or 6 lap fresher tires. As here goes Hutton down to the inside here. Hatchell's going to hope for no caution. That's what he's hoping for. Eric Hutton, he's hoping the caution comes out right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the lead away right now, that's going to help you. But, I mean, some of these guys have unlapped themselves. Like Dennis Faircloth, he's back on the lead lap. Keith Mayato's trying to get back on the lead lap, but he's pretty far back. And so he actually lost some time. First car lap down, he's catching. He just got around the 2 of Ortega. So he'll be the first car lap down.
Not sure how much damage Ortega has, but he did, like I said, he got into
Look at this run down the backstretch.
Oh, man. Yeah, top carries a lot of speed down there. Down the backstretch is by goes the 36, slides up the racetrack a little bit. And that is giving Eric Hutton the lead now. Look, man, look at the run I was going to have on Turner. And, oh, boy, this is going to get good going into one here. It's going to cost Myatt a little bit of time here unless he just goes through the wall here. Trying to blow on by here.
Yeah, I think he will.
Oh, Bailey Turner slides at the racetrack. Almost up into the 33. Ortega and Bafford are doing this. I think Ortega's going to take him 3 wide going into 3. Not sure what's going to happen here. Let's see. Eric Hutton calling it in. He's going to have to bring it into pit road. Bailey Turner's going to stay out. That's allowing Stravato and Hutton to bring it in. Oh, Stravato hard on the brakes there. Barely makes it in. Remember what happened at Michigan? He had a penalty in pit road, and it cost him a really good finish at Michigan as Shieldhouse blows by these guys. And once Bailey Turner pits, we'll cycle David Shieldhouse to the lead. The only problem for Shieldhouse is 20 laps on those Goodyear Eagles.
Yeah, that's putting him way out of the loop. But the amount of time he makes up on these guys.
But I mean, he's got a 7-second lead on
it's
Hatchell at the moment.
It might.
It'll go down quick.
It evens out. But if any of these guys make mistakes on pit road,
so Hatch will have to go down to the apron, so that's going to cost him a little bit of time. But
yeah, in this lap traffic, the way everything's spread out right now, this race stays green. It's going to be interesting to see as Lakatos almost gets rear-ended by Max Koss there coming on pit road.
Scary situation there for the Reese's Ford Mustang there. I almost got into the back of him as Bailey Turner now 51 laps on this stint, so pretty much going to bring it in one more time after this, and they'll be set home free here as Bailey Turner hard under the brakes here, slows it down to 45 miles an hour, and down the long Charlotte Motor Speedway pit road he goes, as that's going to give the lead back to David Shieldhouse, who now has a 5.5 second lead over Seth Hatchell. The question is, does David Shieldhouse 2-stop it, and does Seth Hatchell 1-stop it?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is it's such a short pit that Shieldhouse might have to just for fuel.
Stop, and he will have really good tires. Can he go through the field and pass everybody? Is the question. Yeah, looking at the strategy that Shieldhouse is using, he's going to have to pit twice.
Yeah,
unless he
like
goes an extra 20
and
laps on his tires.
Stravato and Turner. And Turner actually, it looked like Turner might have got up.
Did he cross that blue line?
I think he might have crossed that blue line before he was supposed to. Let's go back and take a look at that real quick.
See here, exiting pit road, good stop there. At a 14.2, the fastest pit stop of anybody in the top 10. So, good stop for the 24 bunch.
Yeah, we're gonna pay close attention to this blue line.
Oh, close. He straddled
several times.
Straddled it. It's one of the toughest pit roads to get off of. So the way the transition of the apron is, it's very interesting to see. But I think he'll be fine. No penalty on the 24. And that's left, wow, that has left 10 cars on the lead lap here so far. So caution comes out right now. Half the field's going to be trapped a lap down, if not multiple laps down here. So
we're talking about a 10-lap difference here in tires for the 8 machine. The David Shieldhouse, who was your leader.
Shieldhouse getting bigger and bigger, and he's loving that.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty quick work here for the 20 of Shieldhouse.
Touch.
Yeah. Wright gets about 4.5. He's almost a full second behind Seth Hatchell after those pit stops, and
yeah, 1 lap older tires. So we'll see how much that affects him. Is Justin Carey slow on the apron here? So we're not sure what the problem is there on the 12. There's pit, though. He might have got a speeding penalty, I believe. He did, I believe. I don't know what happened, but he did. So back down pit lane goes the 12 of Justin Carey. So that's going to cost him a few laps, unfortunately. For the 12, is Shieldhouse in the lead. Gawley gets his lap back the old-fashioned way. Some guys will definitely unlap themselves because of their tires and because of the pace they have on their tires. And should get by
Salfridge is.
Shieldhouse, look at Shieldhouse's position here. He's in a. Oh boy.
Where do you go?
He's in a weird spot here. He's got to unfortunately get out of the way. I know he's the leader, but these guys have such better tires. They'll just blow by him. And the lap cars are doing a good job getting around him nice and calm and easily not, getting into him or almost causing an incident. So doing a good job there, and this is unfortunately costing Shieldhouse time to Hatchell. And Wright's sticking with him, but he's slowly but surely losing a little bit per lap. And Keith Mayato was actually able to jump Stravato and Turner, but he's just got about 6 or 7 lap older tires. So Eric Hutton back to saving. I think Eric Hutton's just been saving tires. That's why he's been so fast in the long run. But he's lost a position to Bailey Turner. And he's lost about 2 seconds on AJ Stravato there. So we'll see. This track continues. It continues to change. More rubber gets laid down. And the lines will move around. If we get a restart or a caution, we'll see guys using that middle and top lane, I would assume. This old Faircloth really loose off the corner.
He got sideways.
He's got about 30 laps on his tire. You know what's funny? He's also on the same strategy as David Shieldhouse, so I think he might be trying to two-stop it as well.
Yeah. And seeing the 80 Faircloth in the top 10 here tonight, doing an excellent job, and the Geico Toyota Supra. And always an awesome paint scheme on that machine every week. Noah Mikowski in the top 10. He'll be the he'll be the highest running Ford currently. Yeah. You could say that about him. And he's just been a top 10 machine.
He really has. He's been solid all year. And he's been a top 10 car a lot of these races this season. It seems like his strong suits are on the mile and a half, I will say. He's had really, really good runs on the mile and a half. He's been all right on the concrete tracks, as you say. He was good at Nashville, I believe. Was all right at Dover, but every week's going to be a different. You can never control what's going to happen week in and week out. And it's good to see Noah having a good run here again, and solid. And as he gets better and better, he'll continue to get. As races go on, he keeps having these runs. He'll get better and better, and might climb his way up the leaderboard week after week.
Back to Yusuf Ghali, your pole sitter. He finds himself in 11th position. And he's kind of the outside looking in, wondering kind of what happened in this race. And I'll take you back to the first 20 laps when he raced outside of Jeff Wright. Those guys raced really hard. Yeah. Just used up those tires, and I think he's paying the price for it here in this race stay green for 112 laps. That ultimately, I think, is what put him back there outside the top 10.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that may have, and it cost him a lot of speed with those tires. The tire fall off, as you can see. Speaking of tire fall off, 11 lap Fisher tires for the 8 of Seth Hatchell, who's ran down Shieldhouse only a half a second faster, not a ton, but still quite a good amount here. And when does Shieldhouse want to pit after? Like I said, he's got a 2-stop it. There's closing up on 80 laps to go. So, and it seems like Shieldhouse has been going about 39 to 40 laps per run. So he might pit in about 7 or so laps, and then he'll pit one more time at lap 140. Lap 160 and go from the end there. It'll only leave him one more set of Goodyear Eagles in the pits. But if he gets the right caution to fall his way, like in the middle of a run like this, where he is in the lead and a caution comes out, he would cycle to the lead for that next run. So, interesting to see here. Hatchell's got to make quick work here. We don't know what the strategies are going to hold. He might be blowing by guys at the end of the race here with his tire strategy. But right now, Seth Hatchell is blowing by David Shieldhouse with his tire strategy at the moment. So this should move the 8 back to the point, and to the lead goes the 2-time champion once again, Seth Hatchell. Shieldhouse back down to second. You could probably lose another position to right, as I'll tell you, Seth Hatchell has turned on the afterburners and has pulled about a 1.5-second gap on Jeff Wright. So a lot of speed in that 8 car, and I'll tell you what, man, the 2-time champion, the veteran of the league, this long race is playing right into his hands.
Justin Carey there in the mix, Casey Lakatos, and these guys have fresher tires. And I know that the 20 of Shieldhouse wants to keep as much of a barrier as he possibly can between him and Jeff Wright, but it just looks like Shieldhouse with these older tires. We're talking about over 10 laps in difference, and that's shaping up to be like 0.5 of a second.
Yeah, it matters. It really does. And Wright will close up on the back of the 20 here in about a lap, but these fresher tires will get by Seth Hatchell as well. We got to remember that Hatchell will have to deal with these guys getting around. It's just depending on how much time they're going to cost him. So, tell you what, I know who's been just banging for a caution is Ben Bafford after speeding. And honestly, I think Bafford, we saw it. He was ahead of Seth Hatchell. He had about the same pace as Hatchell, and he's been on pit road in the first set of pit stops, and he's just been having to claw his way back through this field, staying a lap down all this time, and now he needs a caution just to get back in the fight, let alone, now these laps are winding down quick. We're in within the last 100 laps to go, And sorry, we're closing up on 80 laps to go, I should say. So he's running out of time to have a caution fall his way, and him getting back on the lead lap as Bailey Turner, AJ Stravado battling hard here for 5th. First battle in the top 5 in quite some time as the lappers really played a factor. It looks like Bailey Turner was able to use the lap car as a pick, and now Bailey up into 5th. Stravado down to 6th. Eric Hunt 3 seconds behind these guys. He's down in 7th. Ortega 8th. Mikulski 9th. Gawley in 10th. But about these two, about the closest battles, 2 cars on the racetrack until Jeff Wright is actually closing up on David Shieldhouse. That will be a pass for the 2nd position, but these guys even tires on these cars, and Wright 10 lap older tires than David Shieldhouse, but he's only 2 tenths faster than the 20s. So
in between all this, we got Keith Maiato. Yeah, he's sitting in 4th position quietly. He's got about 6-second gap between him and Jeff Wright, and then about 2 seconds back to Bailey Turner. That's that's kind of where you want to be. If he can get down pit road, and he's on a longer strategy than the front 3, it's kind of in between.
It really is, yeah. I mean,
even with pit stops, he's in between.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the battle for the lucky dog is going to heat up as well. Ben Baffert and Sullivan and Banks are all closing up on each other here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens once these guys get to each other. It's Jeff Wright underneath David Shieldhouse here for 2nd. Looks like Wright's going to take that position quite easily here. But these guys, 2 seconds behind Seth Hatchell. When does David Shieldhouse pit? If he was to stay on the 2-stop strategy, he will pit this lap, and it sounds like he is. The crew is on the wall. David Shieldhouse is going to go the 2-stop strategy, and he's going to be pitting here. He's been on defense all this race, and he'll have to be on defense one more time. But after that, once he pits one more time, I think he'll be on the attack of offense. He'll have 40 laps to just go. But he's in right now.
Navigating strategy, yeah. You got to go around all these cars, the lap cars. No caution comes out. That's what he's banking on right now, because he is going to go back a lap down. Seth Hatchell's going to come back around this place pretty soon. You see Hatchell right now going into 3 and 4. So here he comes back around to put the 20 of Shieldhouse a lap down. The Shieldhouse has all that speed, and that's one thing, but you come up on these lap cars or some of these guys that are on the lead lap, they're going 10, 20 mile an hour slower down the backstretch in some cases. That's you got to navigate that traffic perfect.
You really do. It seems like traffic's kind of held up AJ Stravado here with Mark McFadden. I think Mark McFadden might have made a little contact with Stravado, a little bit of right rear damage there to the 33. Sliding off the corner is Stravado, and Stravado's struggling for grip here. He's got about another 20 laps to go in this run. He's on board with the number 99 Ford Mustang here underneath the AJ Stravado, and he'll get right on by. Fresh tires do matter a lot. So, Mark McFadden, good to see him having himself, a run enough to, keep him in the fight. Hasn't had any incidents like he had last week. And Mark McFadden having a good run in that Petro Canada Ford Mustang up in 21st.
That's another thing I'm noticing. There's 0 incident points all the way through this field here tonight. So that's another.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it? I believe it. It's zeros all the way through.
That's kind of wild, actually, to think about it. If we really had a race like that. But that's good to see. Good to see. Clean and green, as they say. Nick Starling has brought it once again back to pit lane. I don't know if he's calling it a night or if he had to speed and now he's got a drive-through. So, unfortunate. Not the night that Nick Starling was hoping for. He is serving, I don't know what he's doing. I think he's serving a penalty, unfortunately, there. So, Starling back into the pits. Seth Hatchell commanding lead as David Shieldhouse has brought it back on the back on the racetrack, and he's now 2 seconds a lap faster. So if the strategy continues, it will be 2 laps. Once we get to the next stop, he will be 2 seconds a lap faster. He's gonna have to unlap himself and come around the racetrack again. I'll tell you what this is reminding me of. I don't know if anybody, if you watched Richmond, Bradley, or I'm sure there might have been a few people watching that have watched Richmond. We saw guys in the real NASCAR Cup Series try to do the 2-stopper where the tires fell off a lot. Richmond eats tires up. It seems like that's happening a lot. Jeff Wright is bringing it in a little early for Jeff Wright. But we saw it at Richmond where Jeff Wright, ooh, boy. Oh, Seth Hatchell brought it in as well. Interesting. They're going to shortcut it by 5 laps. Showhouse might jump him pretty good here.
Yeah, he's not going to be as far off now on tires either,
Like
so
I
it's
said,
that fall off's kind of going away.
I think, like we said, like what happens at Richmond with the way the tires fall off, you know, the two-stop might actually work just because of how much these Goodyears are falling off here. I don't know if Seth Hatchell and Jeff Wright realized that maybe, but I'll tell you what, Jeff Wright gained a lot of
They
time
started to.
on Seth Hatchell. Yeah, I think they
I think
realized.
that's why they just pitted, and they're going to see the 2-second fall off on these tires. It's almost a second a lap here for the 20, so they bring it down pit road. They're only got 5-lap difference in tires now.
Yeah, they only had 35 laps on their tires, so that's interesting to see. But now we're going to have guys on the one-stopper, which will be Keith Maiato, Bailey Turner, AJ Stravato. What do those guys do? Are they going to stay out long?
I think they stretch it. They made their bed.
And
They've got to
these
lay
guys are going to be the leaders.
Yeah, they got
in the
to.
second run.
They've got to stay with this plan. I don't know. If I were the 48 and the 8, I would have stayed out. I would have just kind of kept going and doing what I was doing. I know the 20 of Shieldhouse is on that different strategy, but he was the only guy on that. And now they're on it too. So, and they didn't do it. They didn't commit to it.
Right down to the apron passing cars.
Look at the 48 of Jeff Wright.
Man, he ain't messing around here, but he lost a little bit of time to Seth Hatchell. Hatchell's also in traffic of his own, trying to get by, both holding each other up in this traffic. Showhouse is way ahead of these guys. Showhouse, 5-lap fresher tires. He's off of turn 2, and Hatchell's barely going into turn 1.
Back to what I was saying, though, is they've kind of shortened up their strategy from what they originally were doing, and now they're in between that strategy and doesn't
What they
work.
can't have is a caution now.
Yeah,
Caution
yeah.
comes out now, they're done. They're in trouble.
And they're trying to catch the 20 of Shieldhouse, who is pretty far away at this point.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here is everybody doing their thing. It looks like Faircloth bringing it in pit road. Sulfridge bringing it in as well. There's a few cars one lap down. I believe Faircloth first car lap down at the moment is now the battle for the lead here. Keith Maiato, Bailey Turner. Turner a little, oh man. A send there for Bailey Turner underneath the 36. Now this race, the business is starting to pick up. We've gotten through the middle of the race. Now it's time to set up for the end of this race. Bailey Turner, 5-7 lap fresher tires. Then Keith Maiato goes right on by past the 36.
Clutch too.
Yeah.
I heard a
this
clutch
is
going into
AV
3.
Fuel. You know, just want to point it out, Bailey Turner won this race on pit strategy last year. He might be trying to do it again. And this year, could it work is the question. Different cars, different fuel tanks. Could be a possibility. Bailey Turner, he's going to have to stretch it out about another 20 more laps. So if he can go to 48 laps on this tank of gas and on these tires, any bit more than that, it's just an insurance run to the end. If he can put that together, he might have a shot at, he will be on the one-stop is what it looks like. He's going to be on the one-stop strategy. Seth Hatchell, Seth Hatchell, David Shieldhouse, Jeff Wright, those 3 guys are on the two-stop strategy. What's going to happen as this race plays out? And I just got to shout out again, this is why we don't have stage racing. We love seeing the strategies play out. David Shieldhouse having to work and weave his way through traffic right now.
Yeah, there was a lot of traffic there with Justin Carey and looked like
Hatchell
the
and Wright will all
77.
run up into this traffic as well.
Yeah, the 77 of Chris Simard, and he's navigating back up into the top 10. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Look, Casey Lacotta's running in the 9th spot right now. Seth Hatchell just ahead.
Oh,
just ahead of him.
bringing it down into pit lane. Wow. Early for him as well, though that was 40 laps. Man, I don't
think they can
really,
stretch that
really
out.
odd.
Yeah, this math here,
And
I'm not the best at it.
If they all have to two-stop it, David Shieldhouse just put himself in a really good position to win this race.
I think he forced the hand of everybody as well. Some of these guys are running it all the way
I don't
out.
think these top 3 are going to care, maybe even top 4. And I'll tell you who's starting to put some pace together is Eric Hutton. Hutton just turned the fastest lap of everybody on the racetrack right now on older tires. So, and we saw the last pit run, Eric Hutton was able to run down Bailey Turner and pass him. Although Hutton has 1 lap older tire than Bailey Turner. Sorry, 2 lap older tires than Bailey Turner. If he saves enough tire, can he run back up to the 24, pit with the 24, and then he's racing Bailey Turner if they stay on the one-stop strategy for the win, possibly?
Man, I don't know. There's so many different things going on this track right now. The 88 of Hutton, he's saved his tires. It's obvious. He's running in third position. AJ Stravato, who has a little bit of right rear damage, but he's on the same stint as Bailey Turner. Then you have the 20 of Shieldhouse, the 8 of Hatchell, the 48 of Jeff Wright that are pretty much on the same strategy at this point. My Auto kind of in between, like he's been all race long. Oh, man, and Ben Baffert, who's just unlapped himself in the 11th position. If caution comes out, he's sitting pretty.
He is. He will be back in this race. Looking at Seth Hatchell, looking at David Shieldhouse, I wonder if Hatchell and Wright just pitted too late, noticing that the two-stop strategy was going to work. I don't know if they did or not. They have fresher tires than Shieldhouse, but if these tires start evening out, they're going to be stuck. And David Shieldhouse will now have control of this race for the guys on the two-stop strategy.
Oh, man, using your mind. It's frustrating enough to come out here and race this racetrack and just physically do it. You know, the mental errors that you make when you're just driving the corner and the lines. But then to do all that math and have some pit strategy to come into this race and take control of it, it's 300 miles. That means that you're doing... Well, let's just sum it up. You've got 4 quarters around this place, so multiply that. That's a lot.
And they're closing up on about an hour and a half of racing here soon. So, you know,
it's 1,200 corners to make a mistake.
1,200 corners to make a mistake, I will say, like you said. As man, Bailey Turner is really in some deep traffic here, and it's costing him a little bit of time. Same with AJ Stravato here. He's in traffic, and I tell you, this is all the guys that are passing them are on fresher tires. The only guy that really hasn't had to deal with the traffic is Eric Hutton, and it continues to help him gain and reel in these guys. The Shieldhouse running these guys down. Could this be a preview of what we see later in the race where Shieldhouse, Hatchell, Wright just start mowing through traffic?
Well, Wright goes to the outside of Mikowski, who's still out there on the track, and he's another one of those guys that's on that long stint. He's actually the longest tires in the top 10 right now for the 10 of Mikowski. He's running the 8th spot. Chris Simard. A lot of these guys, I don't know, man. The longer they wait, I know they're going to have fresh ones. There's going to be a pretty big difference in tires. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I wish I did. It's
going to be really interesting, I tell you, man. It's going to be crazy. I love strategy games, man. There's nothing better than a good old strategy race here, and especially at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've seen a lot of races, a lot of Coke 600s come down to strategy. One race that comes to my mind, Casey Mears, 2007, when he won the Coca-Cola 600 on fuel strategy. Ran out of fuel on the coming out of turn 4 and was able to win. Heck, just think about this. The top 3 of the 2007 Coca-Cola 600 was Casey Mears, David Stremme, and Kyle Petty. That is a wild top 3 for 2007.
Yeah, well, you said Kyle Petty, so I didn't believe it.
Yeah, Kyle Petty in the 45 car, the Wells Fargo car, got 3rd in that race.
Well, BTDY Marathon 300 at lap 140. We're coming up on some short pitting. We've got different strategies all over the place. Stick around. We're going to take a quick commercial break, save our voices, and we'll be back uninterrupted for the rest of the remainder of this race. You're watching VSPEED on YouTube. We'll be right back.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the nurturing reader at New Jersey street fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
We're back, BTDY, and this is some craziness. Seth Hatchell gets around the 20 of Shieldhouse and then just pure chaos down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Alan Dice gets really loose off the corner, and that allows Shieldhouse to get right behind Seth Hatchell. Hatchell on fresher tires than Shieldhouse. These guys doing the two-stopper, and that's allowed Jeff Wright to close in, and a lot of different racing going on here. And off of turn 4, almost a little contact between Hatchell and Banks. Now we'll cut back live here a lap later as Shieldhouse is now under pressure from Jeff Wright in the 48. Wright has caught back up to Seth Hatchell. These guys fresher tires, but I also might need to point out they're 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're on a two-stop strategy with the guys ahead of them. Eric Hutton was able to get by AJ Stravado. Now he's pressuring Bailey Turner and closing in. These guys, everybody still has to pit once more. The question is, the guys that are two-stopping will have fresher tires. Is it going to be enough to top these guys that are going to stop about 15 to 16 laps before the guys that are on the two-stopper pit? Eric Hutton is closing in on Bailey Turner. If he can get the lead here from Bailey, he might have a chance to pounce. And maybe when it comes down to the end of this in about 40 or 52 laps, might be the guy that these guys are chasing down for the win.
Yeah, I mean, right now Bailey Turner's looking solid, but that's just on paper because you gotta factor in the fresher tires, 15 lap difference. I think it's going to be enough that we're going to see Seth Hatchell, David Shieldhouse maybe snag this away. What does Shieldhouse do? Because now he's got two other guys that are on his same strategy. Jeff Wright, Seth Hatchell get around him anyway.
And they were able to get by, and they're pulling away from him. And that's probably not the most encouraging sight for David Shieldhouse. But he's got to stay with them. He's got to try his best to stick with them. He cannot afford to make mistakes and make them lose. I will applaud Jeff Wright and Seth Hatchell for trying to counter David Shieldhouse's strategy, and they've done a masterful job of getting ahead of him. But now the battle is for the lead, and the battle for what will be, eventually could be the lead in this race if a caution were to come out, or once the end of the cycle comes in, Eric Hutton has close up to the back bumper of Bailey Turner, but I think he's going to be pitting 49 laps. The real question is, can they make it on fuel with the one-stop strategy? Bailey Turner's been saving fuel. Now Eric Hutton bringing it in down onto pit road. So is AJ Stravado, but he slides into pit road and he barely makes it.
Well, they just made it 49 laps on that stint, so I think they can do it if they save. But they're going to have to save the whole run.
And one lap of fuel. That shouldn't be too much. That's going to cost you about 15 laps.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the situation with the tires, though. With these guys are going to pit 15 laps later, can they afford to save?
That's the real question that we're all going to have to figure out here in the next 50 laps.
We're playing 200-mile-hour chess is what we're doing right now.
Pretty much. Bailey Turner stays out another lap. What's that going to cut it down to? 48 laps? Bailey Turner might not have to save fuel.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. He'll be able to drive away, and this is what you talked about last season with the 24 of Turner, able to win it on fuel strategy, and this race has stayed green for 152 laps, 0 incident points for everyone out here on the field. We've got Bailey Turner all the way back to Lyle Salfridge in 25th position. Robert Gilmore, Jordan Brockle, and Jeremiah Vincent have taken it behind pit wall.
Yeah.
And, you can hear him clutching it. He is clutching
it. Another lap. So with this lap right here, he should be able to make it on fuel here. He just completed this lap. He'll have 47 laps to go on the next run. I don't think he'll have to sweat on fuel. I think he should be able to make it in. Now I think he pits. I think you pit. Now you try to cover off, and you're going to go an extra 2 laps than the guys that are behind you.
I think he goes one more. He just clutched it into 1 and 2. Is he coming down?
Right here. Yeah, I think he's pitting. The crew's on the wall. He's letting Cost come on. But wait, hold on. Seth Hatchell is pitting.
What?
Hatchell's pitting. Jeff Wright stays out. What does David Shieldhouse do? Shieldhouse stays out.
Why is Hatchell pitting?
Wow.
I don't understand anything that's going on here with the 8, but maybe they know something we don't. Maybe he finds a new counter. He sees Bailey Turner in his situation.
If Jeff Wright's the first car on the two-star strategy, that might help Jeff Wright to win this race. But the problem is, look at the traffic ahead of these guys. Jeff Wright, a lot of traffic out here in front of the leaders, and in front of Jeff Wright, in front of David Shieldhouse. A lot of action here. Bailey Turner has the lead now. Now he's ahead of Seth Hatchell, but that's going to jump AJ Stravato and Eric Hutton on the three-stop strategy. And Hutton is past AJ Stravato, which will be for the lead eventually.
When we came back from a commercial, this race just, I didn't even know what happened.
I mean, there's so much going on with the pit strategy here. I mean, and Eric Hutton is in deep traffic right now. He's got to weave his way through nice and easy. He's kind of tagging along.
Dallas Sullivan.
Stravato here.
Here. And yeah, he's going to navigate it pretty well. The 46 looks like he might be on a little bit fresher tires as he hangs it up there on the outside.
Dallas is fighting for his lap here, so he's not going to let these guys go by super easy. Once they clear, he's not going to fight him again, but he's going to fight him right now. Bailey Turner is a big Dallas Sullivan fan right now.
The top six are the only ones on the lead lap.
Oh, he tags the wall there off of turn number 4. That's going to allow Stravato to get on by easily here. So, remember, we talked about the top 2. They're saying, you know, they might be having to save fuel. Eric Hutton and AJ Stravato might have to save fuel. Bailey Turner doesn't, neither will Seth Hatchell. Curious to see here. We're going to come up on 43 laps to go, so just David Shieldhouse maybe bring it in. He is.
Oh, boy. The 8 of Hatchell gets right up on the bumper.
And here comes Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse bringing in at pit road.
Well, that's to be expected. This makes sense, but he gets really loose on the entrance of pit road here.
Man, able to make it in well. My question is, where is he going to cycle out to here once everything goes and cycles out into the green flag order here? Eric Hutton will have what will be eventually the lead once, you know, my other question is, what about Keith Mayato? Keith Mayato is also on the two-stop strategy.
I'm getting a headache trying to figure this out.
And Shieldhouse in pit road, just exiting his box.
All right, I'm going to throw you a wild card here.
Throw me the wild card. If Caution comes
Reggie
out,
Ortega finds a way to win this race.
It's going to be really
I think
hard.
He's saving. I don't know.
He can't make it on fuel from here. He's going to have to pit one more time. And here comes Jeff Wright. Jeff Wright is pitting now. You know, this is going to be really interesting. I don't know why Hatchell and Wright, you know, it seemed like a good... Oh, that's going to be... I don't know about that one. That's going to be close. We'll monitor Jeff Wright's entry. It looked good, but, man, it sure was fast.
I think Wright might have got a speeding penalty here. We're going to watch the 48 go down pit road and hit that pit stall. It'll be a close call.
I think he was just barely good, so I think Wright will be able to skim by. Now, my thing was Seth Hatchell going back on his old strategy in the middle of the pit cycle was just that might cost him a chance at the win, and that might give Bailey Turner the win. Yeah. What?
2 tires for Jeff? No, I lied.
4 tires. Yeah. Yeah,
I
4
thought
tires.
I saw the right side go up. Yeah, 2 tires probably wouldn't help you at this point.
He'll have fresh tires though. He's going to be on the attack. Shieldhouse just jumped right. Shieldhouse has 4 lap fresher tires than Hatchell, but he's got 6 seconds to run down Hatchell and Turner. Reggie Ortega just coming in as well. Keith Mayato now has the lead of the race. He's going to have to bring it in soon as well, I think. Eric Hutton's going to cycle to the lead, and he's got AJ Stravato right behind him. But here comes Turner and Hatchell. David Shieldhouse is just going to be coming out of turn 2 now. So still a long way to go here. This will be the battle for the win eventually.
Well, it's all over the place right now.
Might be in the catbird seat to win this race here. He's got the clean air. He's just got to manage that fuel. He's got 3 lap older tires than Turner as well. But don't count out Seth Hatchell either. Hatchell is going to be battling Turner. These two are going to be battling together to get up to Hutton. And Keith Mayato, 29 laps on his tires right now. He cannot make it to the end on fuel. He's doing the doubles, the 2-stopper here. When does he pit is the question.
Well, what we basically said, Chad, is we have no idea who's going to win this race. And Eric Hutton looks good. Stravato behind him. Bailey Turner about a second behind this pack.
And he's got
Turner
Hatchell.
doesn't. Yeah, he's got Hatchell on his outside and a little bit
He's going to try to get
battle
by
here for fourth position.
Oh, interesting. And Hatchell with the same tires. Oh, man, almost a little contact there off of turn number 2. And Hatchell, like we said, he's been the dominant car of the day. He's led the most laps. Bailey Turner is going to fight him here. I think if I'm Hatchell here, he's already kind of messed up on the pit strategy here. He's got to just be easy with the tires. He knows he's had really good long-run speed. He's just got to be easy there. I don't know if they touched. I think they're fine. No damage, but now they've ran up on AJ Stravato and Eric Hutton.
Mayato, who's staying out, he's praying for a caution, I think, at this point. Just
I think
trying
Mayato's
to...
got to go.
Yeah,
I
he's
think Mayato's
just
got
praying
to
for a
come in
caution.
soon. Shieldhouse was a half a second faster than the leaders at the moment. He's 2 seconds faster than Mayato, but about a half second faster than Hutton. Turner got by Stravato, so is Hatchell trying to get by. Now this will be what will be the battle for the lead eventually. If it cycles through, Bailey Turner down to the inside of Hutton. Bailey Turner goes up to second. Hatchell trying to follow suit behind. Battle for third here. Turner back up to second. Now Hatchell trying to pounce and get by the 88 of Hutton. Closing up right to the back bumper here. Here comes Carey, the lap car. Gonna have to go by these guys. It's really gonna affect Seth Hatchell's exit. But he's gonna get underneath. Hutton backs out of it here. That's gonna allow Hatchell to get right on by. Hatchell will go up to third. He'll have to chase down Bailey Turner. Remember, they pitted on the same lap. Can Bailey Turner win this race? Turner will eventually cycle to the front as Keith Mayato has brought it down to pit lane. He'll have 20 lap fresher tires, or about 15 lap fresher tires than the leader. 13 to be exact.
Yeah, I think Seth Hatchell bringing it back down pit road. He saw what Bailey Turner was doing, so now he's trying to battle him and counter his run. And we're looking at David Shieldhouse, who has 9 lap tires. Not really making up much ground on these guys, so I don't know. His original strategy looked good, but some guys started to even out with him.
Like I said,
all these cycles.
Seth Hatchell's strategy to pit again, I don't know if I can agree with that right now. He might make me look dumb, and he might win this race still. He's just been that fast. But he's behind the 8 ball right now. He's got to get by the 24 here. He's going to have about 33 laps to do it. He can't afford to burn up his tires. Bailey Turner, we know he's been knocking on the door for a win. He's been wanting a win. He said this is not his best track, but he was able to win here last year. And can he get his first win of the season this season again at Charlotte? But Seth Hatchell is hounding him right on that back bumper.
24 car in the lead, 1/10 of a second separate him and Seth Hatchell. This is the battle, which could be for the win, barring no cautions. We haven't had a caution here tonight at all. Race recap: 21 lead changes here with 0 cautions here at Charlotte for 300 miles. And this track temperature has cooled off a little bit, but not by much. 138 degrees on the track surface, 91 ambient air temperature. It's still tacky out there.
It sure is. The Keith Mayato just exiting pit lane, turning 31.5, about a second faster than everybody at this moment. So a lot of good speed in that 36, but is it going to be enough as we go to the battle for the lead? His teammate, Seth Hatchell, he's led, 70 laps so far today. And right now he's behind Bailey Turner in the 24. The White Claw Chevrolet Camaro sliding around the corner, goes down the defensive line into turn number 1. Hatchell peaks, looks high, backs off going into turn 1. Here comes Carey to the outside.
Carey's just trying to figure this out because he's faster, a little bit faster than these guys with the fresher tires, but
he's trying to get his lap back.
Yeah, he's trying to get back on the lead lap in the 12 machine.
Hatchell's just going to do the smart thing. He's going to let him go.
Down.
Hatchell's going to do the smart thing and just let him go here. Might affect Bailey Turner's exit and entry to turn 1. This might be the place where Hatchell could maybe pounce going into turn number 1 here, maybe off of 2. Bailey's going to have to lift a lot more. That's going to allow Hatchell get a better entry and maybe a possible better exit off of turn 2. Just doesn't look like it right here off of 2. It's not enough. Kerry's doing a great job. He's doing an awesome job letting these guys race it out. When he can get the opportunity, he will take it. But right now, you can see Hatchell closes up to the back bumper of the 24. Just loses the nose in dirty air. Cannot get the rotation in the center of the corner here.
This battle going ahead of Eric Hutton by about 1.1 seconds. As the gap starts to grow a little bit, these guys pushing really hard. Do you think Hutton's saving his tires?
Yeah, he might be. And I'll tell you what, though. David Shieldhouse, he's closing in slowly but surely. So is Jeff Wright. Wright is closed up to Shieldhouse. And look at, here goes Hutton and Stravato now battling. Those two are running down these two, and they're running down the leaders. This Kerry finally got by Hatchell here, but now a battle for third. Hutton, Stravato. Stravato takes the position.
A lot of traffic in front of Bailey Turner as he navigates around the 13 machine. Jordan Shepler, 77. Chris Simard in front of him now. There's a little gap between him and Seth Hatchell.
Yeah, Kerry got by Hatchell. He's got to get by Turner. He's got better tires, but he's just got to make quick work here. He already cost Hatchell a little bit of time. He's going to probably try to get by Bailey Turner, get one of those laps back. See here, yeah, you'll see Kerry go right on by here past the 24 car. That's going to affect Bailey's exit a little bit. Shouldn't affect him too much. He won't get the drive off like he wants, and that should allow Hatchell to close up a little bit more. Now about a half a second, about 0.4 of a second gap here.
Through the 24 and the 8, you know that they're chasing you down. Stravato, Hutton, Wright, Shieldhouse.
Hey, what, man? Wright's just got
they're
so
in striking
much pace.
distance.
Wright's got a lot of pace, but he's got 25 laps to reel these guys in. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. He's got 3.7 seconds to make up here on these two.
Got on board with the 20
He's
of
got to pass
Shieldhouse.
Hutton, and he's got to pass Stravato, so.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. With 20
And
laps, 24 laps to go.
Shieldhouse is going to be in a bad spot here because he's probably going to fall off of Wright here. So Jeff Wright still might have a chance at winning his 5th race of the season so far. Like I said, Wright just finds ways, man. He just finds ways. He's carrying that 48 car banner well. I'll tell you what, though. Having a great run here so far. Hutton just falling off a little bit.
I think Hutton might be saving tires a little bit for this last 10 laps.
He might be. Is he going to be enough, though? He's got 3 lap older tires in Hatchell and Bailey Turner, so it just might not fall into fruition there for the 48 there, or for the 88. We'll see here, though. I tell you what, man, Jeff Wright, he's got a lot of pace. He might still have a chance of winning this race. Just looking at the lap times here, Jeff Wright's going to be on a tear here. It's all how he gets through this traffic. It depends how he gets through this traffic. If you get through it well, he might be able to win this race.
Yeah, he's about 0.4 faster than the leaders with a 33.397.
He's got
to
traffic,
Jeff Wright's
though, so
32.949. That's 0.4 of a second solid. I don't know. We'll see. But right now, with the gap back to Jeff Wright, that's 2.6 seconds. 22 laps to go as we come up on lap 179. Yeah. Bailey Turner ahead of Seth Hatchell. And it's close. It's very close.
It is. And Hatchell can't afford to really, mess his tires up too much, especially being right in dirty air. You can see him get a little bit of clean under the nose here. Try to tuck back in line on the exit of the corner. Try to save that car up a little bit here. Jeff Wright has cleared the traffic. Same with Shieldhouse. If he can get by, make quick work of Stravato and Eric Hutton. Don't count that 48 out to win this race either. I think Jeff Wright might have a really good shot. He's got 6 lap fresher tires than the leader, Bailey Turner, and Seth Hatchell. So only 2 seconds back. If he can get the grip and find it and be able to hold it together, he could win this race.
He's within 0.3 now of Eric Hutton for the 4th position, and he's running him down. In the closing laps, 20 to go. Bailey Turner, Seth Hatchell, that hasn't changed much at all. Hatchell looks like he might be closing up a little bit on the bumper here on the exit.
He is. He's getting close here. And if he does get to Bailey Turner, he's got to make it quick, because if Wright gets by this 3rd and 4th, Wright will be on that battle in a hurry. closing up on 20 laps to go, 180 laps green here. Great driving by all these drivers, and it might come down to a 2-horse pony show at the dog races, maybe even 3. If these guys can all keep it together, though, Lapper's going to be going underneath right, going to make quick work of that. Fall behind here, right? He's got to get by these guys quick. McFadden's not going to really, it's going to kind of screw up Jeff right here. It's going to mess him up, cost him a little time here. McFadden's just got to get by him really quick.
Yeah, if you're Jeff Wright, it's almost like let him go, or, you know, drive it hard on the exits. 99 car might be able to be used as a pick here to get around, but we're running out of time here. 18 to go now.
18 to go, yes. He's got to make quick work of 3rd and 4th. Tell you what, who's got a lot of speed is Keith Miato. He's kind of falling off, but man, he was digging and for about a second a lap faster, but I don't think he's going to get up enough. But this battle for the lead, man, it's going to be good. Yeah, Yusuf Ghali, he's found some pace. He's got a little bit older laps on those tires, but these guys hoping for a caution. If you're Ben Baffert, if you're Lakatos, if you're Mikulski, Samard, you guys are hoping for a caution. But this battle for the lead is about to heat up. Seth Hatchell, the 2-time champion. He's led the most laps tonight. Can he get by Bailey Turner? Turner doing a great job holding him off. Has Hatchell saved enough tire to a pounce on him? It doesn't look like it right now. Just stuck in that bubble of air. He's got 16 laps to navigate him.
And as we talk about this battle, AJ Stravado, they've got it down to 1.2 seconds, so they see the 48 of Jeff Wright catching up to them, so they're pushing it a little bit. Yeah, they're starting to catch up to these leaders. I think we're going to have a 5-way battle. It's going to be close here for the 24 and the 8.
It could be. It could be close here, but now McFadden in the lap car, he's got a little bit fresher tires. He's going to go right on by the 8 of Seth Hatchell. Now he'll attack the 24 of Bailey Turner. That kind of affected the exit of the 8. And now the 8's going to fight back on the inside. McFadden just lets him go again.
Yeah, we got a car up here smoking ahead of these guys.
Ben Baffert sideways in the middle of 1 and 2. Very loose off the corner. I don't know how he saved that car. He should have been spun off of turn 2, but now the lap cars are going to get in the way of Bailey Turner and Lyle Sofridge. He's still sliding on the apron. That's going to allow Bailey Turner to check up. Ben Baffert is spinning around. He hits the inside wall, around he goes. No caution, no caution. And now Jeff Wright just got by Eric Hutton. That costed Turner and Hatchell a second.
Yeah, we're going back. We're watching the instant replay here of the, looks like the 23. He slides down to the inside and hits the inside pit wall.
I thought there were going to be a caution for that. Luckily not going to be a caution, but I'll tell you what, the lap car Mark McFadden is kind of affected Seth Hatchell's progress. He's got to get back to him. He's just got to hope that McFadden can get by Bailey Turner, because if not, Bailey Turner will be pulling away here. But now here comes McFadden. That's going to affect Bailey Turner's entrance to the corner here. Jeff Wright got by Eric Hutton. He's now trying to work past the 33 of Stravado.
Boy, look at that run up there on the 8.
Close in.
He got a big run there into 3 in the bottom. Jeff Wright now moving past. He got around Eric Hutton. He's on Stravado. 12 laps to go.
Stravado's going to really fight him off here. He's going to try his best to hold him off here. But Jeff Wright, a little bit fresher tire, a little more pace in that Lowe's 48 Chevrolet here. Now peeks down to the inside of AJ Stravado. Stravado tries to cover, won't be able to. Right down to the inside into turn 3. Stravado fights to the outside. He'll try to pitch the 48. It just won't work. The 48 trying to get a run off the corner, just can't hold it. Now the 33 fights back on the outside. This is allowing the 8 and the 24 to scoot away.
I don't know. That 48's got such pace. We got 10 laps, 11 laps. I think the 48's going to run up here and catch at least the 8 car, but getting around Bailey Turner, that's going to be a different story.
Hey, we've seen the story of the 48 and the 24 being the battle all day, pretty much all year. Just the result being the 48 and the 24 1-2 twice this season, once at Nashville and then again at Michigan. This year, or this week, it might be a different story if Wright finishes behind Bailey Turner. Just looks like Hatchell's losing a little bit of spots here, as now Hutton underneath the 33 is Stravato for 4th. Hutton in the 88 goes back up to 4th.
No, Mikowski brings it down pit road. I don't know if he's just going to be short on fuel. I know some of these guys might have pitted a little too soon. Oh, man.
Hutton able to cover off the 33 here. This is a 5-horse race for the win. 10 laps to go in a 300-mile race. Man, oh man, what a show we've been put on here by the BTDY Racing Series. These guys going at it. 10 laps to go in the BTDY Marathon 300. Bailey Turner, your leader. About 2/10 of a second gap over Seth Hatchell, the 2-time champion. Jeff Wright in the 48. He's won 4 races this year. He's looking for number 5. He's got fresher tires. Can he run them down? He's got to pass the 8, and then he can attack the 24. But right now, kind of stuck behind the 8 is the 48.
We're starting to accordion back up here, and you see 0.3 of a second. The 8 of Hatchell is probably going to run the 48 hard. That's going to probably use up the tires. I don't know. That might play in the favor of Turner.
Bailey Turner is a big Seth Hatchell fan at the moment. Oh, Jeff Wright really loose off the corner. As Lakatos is going to get lapped here by the 24 of Bailey Turner. Turner's just got to make quick work of the lap cars. He's got to get by really quick. Lakatos doing an awesome job staying out of the way of the leaders here. I applaud that move very much. Now this has allowed Hatchell and Wright to get, now Bailey Turner has a lap car in the middle, but Hatchell just misses the bottom. That's going to allow the 24 to get underneath here. Or the 48, excuse me, to get underneath here. He's going to get a nice run. What does Wright do? Does he try to fake down to the bottom? Hatchell able to cover. Like I said, this is Bailey Turner's hoping that Seth Hatchell could just impede the run of the 48 enough. Here comes Eric Hutton. Eric Hutton is close up into this battle again.
I thought Hutton might be saving tires. The 88 looking good here in the closing laps. 6 laps to go, and the 88 car catches up to the 48. We're going to have a 3-way battle. Oh, the 8 of Hatchell gets really tight there on the entrance.
Oh, that's going to allow Wright to get underneath him. What can Jeff Wright do? Down to the inside of the 8 goes the 48 of Jeff Wright. Wright sends it into turn number 3. Drifts up the racetrack. The 8 trying to hold him down. Can't do it. Side by side, here comes Eric Hutton closing it as well. 6 laps to go now on the board, I should say. Eric Hutton trying to run down underneath the 8. Jeff Wright gets by Seth Hatchell for 2nd. Hutton underneath Hatchell for 3rd.
And Hutton gets a little loose there off the exit of 2. Almost slides up into the 8 car. They're still side by side down the back straightaway going into 3.
And what I said from Eric Hutton in the 88 slides up the racetrack. The 8 gives him a bumper in the middle of 3 and 4. He can't hold on. Hutton up to 3rd. Wright trying to run down the 24 for the win. 5 laps to go from Charlotte Motor Speedway. The top 4 under a blanket, all within a second of each other.
3/4 of a second here, Jeff Wright. Bailey Turner might have been saving those tires, waiting for that run by the 48. Let's see what happens here in the closing laps. Different pit strategies all the way through this race. We had guys cycling, short pitting, triple pitting, quad pitting. It's been all over the place all the way through this. And I tell you what, Bailey Turner has 4 laps to go to win this race.
Yeah, he won this race last year, trying to go back-to-back, a repeat winner at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but trying to get his first race win of the season. He's knocked on the door many times this year where he could have won. He's gotten a lot of seconds. Him and Jeff Wright had a heck of a battle at Texas, and then another great battle at Nashville with Wright coming up on top in both of them. This time, Bailey Turner trying to come on top of Jeff Wright here and get his first win of the season. Eric Hutton, Seth Hatchell, and even AJ Stravato closing in a little bit, but Jeff Wright right now just doesn't have the pace in that 48 now. He's just in that bubble of air. He was a 10th faster that last time. The question with Bailey Turner is there's 3 laps to go, now 2.5 down the backstretch. Justin Carey's giving the 24 a little bit of dirty air. Is that going to affect enough handling on the 24 where Wright can pounce? You can see on board with Eric Hutton closing in on the 48.
I think the 88 of Hutton might get back to get a run, and that was probably the best scenario here for the 24. But I don't think Jeff Wright has the run anymore. He's only a tenth faster than Bailey Turner that time by.
Yeah, that's it. And right now, if Turner makes a mistake, Wright will be there. Carey just a little bit in the way of the 24. 24 wishing he had enough clean air. A lap and a half to go from his first win of the season.
2 laps to go. The 24 looks like he can hold him off. He's going to come out of 3 and 4. Gets a little bit loose. He's going to get that run now down to the inside of Justin Carey as they come off of 4. Doesn't quite get it. He does lose a little bit of time. Now Eric Hutton making a battle here for second.
Battle for
White
second.
flag.
White flag. 300 miles. Caution free. Battle for second. Heating up. Jeff Wright uses the middle lane to get around Eric Hutton. Let's battle for second. Heating up. A half a lap to go from the 300-mile race at Charlotte. Bailey Turner down the backstretch for the final time into turn 3. He won this race last year. Jeff Wright, one more charge, but it's not going to be enough. Off of turn 4, 2 years in a row. Bailey Turner wins his first race of the season, and it comes at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You picked it.
I picked it. That's back to
You
back.
picked it.
Back
That
to
is
back.
to back.
24
Bailey
gets it
Turner.
done.
How about it? Bailey Turner, your winner, 300 miles caution-free. What a great race we were treated to at Charlotte. Great strategy. Awesome race here tonight from Charlotte. Bailey Turner, your winner. Jeff Wright, second. Eric Hutton, how about that? Third. Seth Hatchell, fourth. AJ Stroh, fifth. David Shieldhouse, 6th. Keith Mayato, 7th. Yusuf Ghali in 8th. Reggie Ortega, 9th. And how about Casey Lakatos, a top 10 in the number 50 Gridlock Toyota Supra. I believe he'll get second out of the Toyota. Says Bailey Turner, another new winner this season, burning it down here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 24 back in victory lane. What a race. What a win from Bailey Turner. And man, did he have to fight for this one. Wins it again on strategy.
Strategy all the way through, and everybody on different pit cycles. The 24, Bailey Turner able to get it done. Jeff Wright close on the battle, and Eric Hutton with an outstanding performance here as we get ready to go into crunch time. Interviews with your top 3. We'll take a quick commercial break, but again, your winner as we burn it down with them. Bailey Turner getting it done, leading 60 laps here tonight to come out from 7th position to 1st.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
We're back live at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and boy, was it a good one. Clean and green for 300 miles. We got Clean and Green running down pit road right now, trying to track down
Hey,
Eric
we do.
Hutton. We do. Alec
I like it.
Martinez, you found him?
I got him. Eric Hutton, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, buddy, you've had a great long run car. It seemed like you and Seth Hatchell were the best on the long run when the tires were really, at their peak or at the oldest age. You get third. What more did you need to maybe even get the win from Bailey and Jeff?
Yeah, man, I think that final run, we had some lap cars right out of the pits, and I think they were on fresh tires, and I think we just had to race them a little too hard there at the beginning of the run, and I think it killed what extra advantage I had at the end of the run. But that first run, I saw Seth, how much he was saving. I just parked it behind him, and then we just kind of marched our way to the front, and so then I had Jeremiah on the pit box and told him the lap times we were running, and we just targeted that for about 15 laps at the beginning of each run, and I didn't think it was gonna work, but it turned out it did.
Well, man, I mean, you stay third in the points. I'm gonna assume. I think Bailey might pass you, but you'll stay in the top three. You top three also finished third in the top three in the race. Next week, All-Star race. We're going overseas down to Italy for the All-Star race in Monza. How do you feel about going down to that race?
Well, I got to check to see if I own the track. But
Yeah. Oh, you're turning right, by the way. I might point out.
well, may slam a couple bush lattes and see what happens
Yes,
Attaboy.
sir.
if I remember to show up. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't matter.
Well,
No points.
I know that's no points, it's just cash on the line. Now, I got to ask you where the real beginning starts for you. The points multipliers, half points, Talladega, in 2 weeks. How do you feel about going out there to Dega when we get back to the season going?
Yeah, man. I'm really just up here because I can consistently get like around fifth. So, I mean, I just
Consistency is key.
keep doing what I'm doing. I'll try to. Easier said than done, but I mean, I think Talladega. If we get lucky at Talladega, maybe I can keep the advantage over Jeff and Bailey. But I don't know, they're both pretty good at plate tracks, so I just try not to wreck. That's every plate track strategy.
I can respect that. Well, again, congratulations on your third place run. I got to ask you, does anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I just appreciate all my teammates, Vince Motorsports and Jeremiah Vincent for being on the pit box this race. He was a lot of help. Yeah, man, everybody puts on this league. It's a fun deal.
All right, for sure, man. Well, again, you have yourself a phenomenal evening. Congratulations on the the third place finish. You go have a phenomenal day, and we'll see you hopefully next week out in Monza.
Yes, sir. We'll see you.
All right, see you, buddy. All right, so there's Eric Hutton, your third place finisher. We'll move on to your second place finisher. I accidentally moved AJ Stravado down there. That's my bad. Anyway, let me get to the second place finisher up just a little bit down in pit road. Jeff Wright.
Yes, sir. I got
Sorry,
you.
I hate to interrupt your conversation there.
Good, bro.
Well, you come home second again. It's just been consistency for you. I know. I hate to tell you that, but just been consistency for you. Different pitch strategy, all race. What more does you need to maybe get to Bailey?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we needed to get through traffic a little bit better there. So I don't know if maybe we had gone a lap or two a little bit longer just so our tires were just a tad bit fresher, that we could have got through traffic a little bit. I was coming pretty quick, and I thought I was going to have a chance at it. But then once I got to like fourth or fifth, I got to Eric, and I really stalled out. I was running about the same lap times as Eric Hutton there, and then eventually was able to get around him. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I needed a couple more laps or what. But big congrats to Bailey. He drove a great race. Really good strategy for him there. I still think it's just wild that we had that many different strategies going on, and then the race comes down to 2/10 and 5 cars finishing close to within a second of each other. So that's says a lot about the league here, and how competitive it really is. And yeah, I knew Bailey was going to get one, and I was talking to him yesterday, and I thought this one might be the one because he won here last year. And what do you know? Bailey Turner's in victory lane.
For sure, man. And I know this now we go up into the next part of the season. I know next week it's out in Monza. I hate to disappoint you, but it's not the road course, Jeff. It's next week out at the right turning oval. How do you feel about going out there for the All Star race?
I don't.
Have fun.
Yeah, I don't know what to think. I've never actually raced there. I don't even know on the track, so
Oh,
it's gonna be a learning curve, I guess that's for sure. But yeah, we'll go out there. We'll give it all we got. But can't
you know,
say I have a whole lot of confidence going there.
yeah, I can tell you, we can always change it up. I'm sure we just gotta talk to the officials, and maybe
Hey,
we can do
yeah,
something else
anything's
at Monza, like the
possible.
Miatas or something, make it a little more fun. VSPEED add a
Yeah,
dark twist to it.
yeah, for sure.
But after Monza, after the All Star race, if we get back to business, the half point multipliers out at Talladega. How do you feel about going out there?
Yeah, Talladega, it's that's an animal for sure. A lot can happen there. A lot of guys play different strategies, whether they want to, kind of just lay around in the back and, maybe avoid the big one if it happens early. Some guys like to be up front. I'm probably in that boat where I'm going to want to be up front. I'm going to try to be leading laps. And I think that sometimes, the safest place at Talladega is going to be, those first two rows. So I'm going to go there, give it all I got. I know I got a good teammate in Reggie Ortega that's going to be able to work with me. We bump draft really well. So, and with us, only having two people on our team, we're going to be a little bit outnumbered for sure. So, we're going to have to, take it to those bigger teams with 3-4 guys. But yeah, Talladega, it'd be awesome to get a plate win. It's been a great season so far. And like you said, this is the playoffs. So this is where we got to start performing our best.
For sure, man. Well, again, congratulations on second place. Does anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to the whole field tonight. Caution free 200 laps at
Yeah.
Charlotte. I'm telling you, my hands hurt really bad right now. I was death gripping the wheel the whole time. And shout out to Reggie doing the pit strategy for me tonight. We came up real close, just a little bit more, and we could have maybe had another win this season, but can't be too disappointed in second place. And, shout out to Bailey for the win tonight. He's been close a lot this year, and I knew he was going to be a threat here for sure. And he's going to be threatening the playoffs as well. So, big shout out to him. And then just, you guys putting on the broadcast, the league admin, sponsors, everybody that makes this thing happen. This has been so much fun this season. And I can't wait to get the playoffs started.
For sure, man. Well, again, we appreciate you being out here, man. Congratulations again on the second place finish. And we'll see you maybe next week in Monza. Could always change. If not, for sure, we'll see you out at Talladega.
All righty. Sounds good, Alec.
All right. Have a good one, buddy. Your second place finisher, Jeff Wright. 4 wins on the season and will maintain the point lead for the BTDY Racing Series. And now I'm going to send it down to victory lane. Your winner, Bailey Turner. Bradley was his pick was Bailey Turner. Bailey Turner gets it done. So let's go down to victory lane with Bradley Cooper and your winner, Bailey Turner.
Bailey Turner celebrations everywhere. And I tell you what, you finally edged out the 48. You guys have been going back and forth all season long. You were my pick this week, and I'm back to back. So thank you for not making me a liar on this.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I had AJ Travato and I were on the same strategy there, and I was just trying to save a little more fuel than him, so I'd have a little bit of a tire advantage for the last 2 runs of that race, which ended up paying off well. But he was giving me a heads up on all those guys, kind of shortening up their strategies to catch us, because I don't think there was going to be a chance that they were going to catch us there at the end if they would have went their full run. So it was pretty wild. AJ was just counting down every time Jeff caught us by a second. He was like, "Oh, he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it." And I was just sitting there driving my ass off to hold off Seth. So that was a pretty amazing race. That was probably one of the funnest ones I've had on iRacing in quite a while.
Bailey, we had a multitude of different people and different strategies. David Shieldhouse, who kind of forced the hand, short pitting everyone. Keith Mayato, who was kind of in between all that. And then Seth Hatchell. Were you worried about Hatchell? Because he was up there for most of this race.
Yeah, no, we were definitely worried about Hatchell. I feel like I didn't see him. I mean, after that first run where I went long, I didn't see him on the track until he caught me right there coming to the pit stops, and I wasn't too worried. I figured, he'd go another 10 laps or so on his strategy, and then all of a sudden I see him come down pit road right behind me, and I was like, oh no, I got a battle in my hands. I thought I was going to get away easy, and he got to my outside one time, and luckily I think we caught some lap traffic in a bad spot, and was able to hold him off, and then just use the air for the remainder of that run, and then just pray, looking in my mirror, that Jeff and him were going to battle, and luckily it was just enough to where I was death gripping the wheel those last 5 laps, holding on, that still found that little bit of pace to hold those guys off.
So impressive run, but you know what's more impressive? We ran 300 miles without a single caution. How much did that play into your strategy and affect the outcome of this race?
We were we were a little worried there with our long strategy there. You know, you put yourself in a risk at a risk there for the first 10 to 15 laps of the run while everybody else has an entire track on you. So it was a battle. I mean, definitely, you know, if you had one little slip up or one lapse in judgment when, you know, going by lap cars or racing around other people, your race was over. So that was definitely a test. You know, longest race we've had in this league, I think, since last season with the next gen. So feels pretty dang good to go back to back here in the next gen and then the Xfinity car.
So we've asked about Monza and the All-Star race. Everybody's kind of rejected the idea of that. So we're going to talk about Talladega, which will be the next race that we go. And that's double points. We're in the crunch time now for the chase, and you're sitting pretty in points. What's in store for us for the rest of this season?
You know, it's gonna be interesting. You know, a lot of guys all here in the playoffs, and like you said, it's a points multiplier race. And I think if you want to be smart, you play the team games. But you know, everybody gets selfish at the end of the day. They want the points and trying to position yourself there at the front at the end. So it's definitely going to be a test. You know, going to see. I know I got teammates in the chase with Eric, or not Eric, sorry, AJ, and I think Ben or Yusuf possibly. So um, hopefully we can all work together pretty well and kind of come up with a strategy there, and you know, just do what we can. You know, it's I got a handful of points to make up here on Jeff, so each week going to try to be chipping into that just a little bit.
Right. Well, congratulations on your win, Bailey Turner. Do you have anybody you would like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just everybody over there at Sad Boys. You know, those guys, it's really fun, you know, making all of our little practice cue runs and everything together and coming up with strategies and working together and helping each other when we can, but, you know, not putting ourselves in a bad spot. So it's been a pretty good season with all of us working together there. And shout out to you guys on the broadcast and, you know, all the admins putting this together each week.
Well, I hope you go back and watch it. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you hit the subscribe button. Like, share, follow that. Share it with everybody. You got the win here tonight. You got to put that out there.
There we go.
Congratulations, Bailey, and hope to talk to you at Monza. We'll be covering that All-Star race. Hope you make it.
Thank you.
There he is, race winner, Bailey Turner. Alec, man, what a race.
Yeah.
I can't believe it, dude. That many laps?
I tell you, that was awesome. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. 300 miles, pit strategy, great racing, start to finish. Man, it doesn't get any better than that. And like continue to say it week in, week out, these guys continue to put on a great show. And man, I hope everybody that tuned in, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your time with us. A long one, but still a great one. And again, we always appreciate you watching and watching the race, watching us scream our heads off at virtual race cars. And like you said, Bradley, is if you haven't subscribed yet, haven't hit the like button, put on that notifications, please do. It really helps us out, and we get to bring you guys coverage on Mondays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays, and hopefully very soon some other weeknights and maybe even weekend nights and maybe a few big events in the future. So again, we appreciate you guys' support, and man, shout out to everybody here at BTDY. Great race tonight. Guys are slip sliding around, hot weather, great racing. It just doesn't get any better than that. And Bailey Turner getting his first win of the season. So, yeah, I mean, what a great race. And let's go through our race results here. Start at 7th, getting his first race of the season. Bailey Turner brings it home P1. Jeff Wright, just been so consistent this year, comes home 2nd. Another guy consistent, Eric Hutton. 4th, Seth Hatchell led the most laps tonight. Had a heck of a race. He'll bring it home 4th. AJ Stravano in 5th. David Schildhouse in 6th. How about Keith Maiato? Opposite strategies in 7th. Yusuf Ghali started on pole, led a few laps, just couldn't get the pace back in that 54 car. He'll bring it home 8th. Reggie Ortega up in 9th. And how about Casey Lakatos up in 10th?
Yeah, Mr. Top 10. Lakatos, we had the torch on the 10 car. Yeah. He's going to finish back in 15th, but it looks like Lakatos has kind of traded the torch off with Noah Mikowski. Chris Simmer going to bring it home in 11th. Dallas Sullivan 12th. Alan Dice 13th. Joshua Banks in 14th position. Banks looked good there at the start of this thing. Noah Mikowski going to be 15th. Dennis Faircloth started 10th. Going to fall back to 16th position. Max Cost, and he said it in chat. No incidents tonight, and he's able to finish. Even though it's 2 laps down, he got it clean and green all the way through.
Good.
Lyle Salfridge, I believe that's Lyle. Let me make sure. There's 2 L's here, so that's Lane Selfridge in the 18th position.
Lane.
Yeah, Lane. I always get those 2 mixed up. Justin Carey's going to be 19th, and Nick Starling in 20th.
All right, Mark McFadden was in 21st, kept it clean tonight. Jordan Shepler, 22nd. Lyle Selfridge, 23rd.
See,
Ben
you did
Baffert.
too.
I know, I did too. Ben Baffert, 24th. Zach Smith, 25th. Robert Gilmore, 26th. Jordan Brockle, 27th. And Jeremiah Vincent rounding out the field here tonight, man. What a great race. Again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Looking forward to the All-Star race, whoever that may be. Might be Monza, might not be Monza. We don't know yet, but it should be a fun time. So I'm really looking forward to getting out there next week in Monza in Italy. Don't really go out there much, so that's going to be fun to see. And, man, I'm excited for this chase. Unfortunately, I don't know if you're going to have me for Talladega. I'm going to be racing in that 18 SP Designs Chevrolet. So
Yeah, we'll see you out there.
hey, yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to racing.
Maybe I
these
can
guys.
get Adam
Much
up
fun.
here. Maybe I can get
yeah.
Adam up here.
Maybe get Adam up here, yeah. And Talladega is going to be an awesome race. Great race to cover. Again, thank you to everybody who's shown up and watched, and hope you guys enjoyed, man, because I know we did. That was an awesome race. Again, shout out to Bailey Turner. Big congrats to him. A great race tonight, man. I'm looking forward to the next few weeks, and again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Well, this concludes our broadcast here tonight for BTDY's marathon race at Charlotte. 300 miles, 200 laps, caution free. And your winner, Bailey Turner, getting it done. In that top 3, it's stout. The points are shaping up, and it's only going to get better from here. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Like, follow, subscribe, all those buttons. Click everything. Share with all your friends and family. And we'll see you next week at Monza for the All-Star race. And Thursday night, we're going to have another race. And help me out on this, Alec. What do we got in store?
On Thursday, I believe on VSPEED 2 is going to be the BMW Car Club of America. I think they're going to be racing, if I'm not mistaken. They could be off. Sorry, I haven't really kept up with their channel or with what's going on with the schedule. I know, I'm gone. Bye-bye. See everybody later. But yeah, you keep up with on VSPEED 2. Adam does a great job, and those guys in the BMW Car Club of America covered their races a few years ago. They're an awesome racing series, awesome league. A lot of talent in the road cars there. So go and tune in, check those guys out. Obviously on Monday, I believe yourself, Bradley, you're
VSRL.
The VSRL set truck series is going on. So I don't know where are they going next week.
Where are they going next week? Look, I'm fired now.
Everything's
schedule-wise, right?
But yeah, exactly. But
we're going to Talladega, so there you go.
Oh boy! So, yeah, there you go. Set us all up. Just tune in. We appreciate all the support that we get here, and it's an honor and a pleasure to do this every week and have some fun with it. So, you guys, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Tune in next week. All-Star Race. You got the Truck Series. You got the Road Series on VSPEED 2 with Adam. So, again, thank you everybody who tuned in. Congrats to Bailey Turner. Everybody have a safe week, a safe weekend. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you guys for tuning in. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
And here comes Lionel. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.